Hey, what's up, everybody? Can you guys hear me? Happy New Year's to everyone. Wish you guys amazing success for this coming year. I know I've been out of pocket for quite some time. I'm actually going live in the Dominican Republic. I've been here for quite a while. Been here for 3 weeks now. The goal is to be here for about a month, but things may change depending on my workload and interviews. But definitely want to have my first stream. Figure I do it tonight out of Dominican Republic. Let me know in the chat if you guys could hear me loud and clear. Just point of one that you can hear me or two that you can't hear me. I just want to make sure the audio is clear because I didn't bring my equipment with me, but I want to make sure that before I start that you guys can hear me loud and clear. Can you hear me? One for yes. All right, awesome. Anyway, guys, happy New Year's, man. Definitely want to get this conversation going, man. I want to give you guys just the update that's going on. I know there's been a lot of conversations around the Passport Bros. Passport Bros actually went mainstream as of recently, but this is our chance to really speak our message. I think it's important that, now that we have everyone's attention as Passport Bros or as Blue Book Gentlemen or whatever travel that you are, it's important that you guys communicate a consistent message across these platforms. Right now, the current perception of the Passport Bros is not in a positive manner. So it's important that you guys continue to highlight your travels, highlight your activities, and not just simply focus on women. But anyway, before I start into that conversation, I wanted to just talk about 2023 travels. What's the current landscape, especially around digital nomads? As of right now, things are changing around the country. There's been a lot of massive layoffs that's happening that will affect digital nomads as much as that we don't want to admit. But yes, we will get impacted. But before we start, I figure, let me just do a quick walkthrough based on my experiences of 2023 and what my new direction is for 2020. I'm sorry, my past experience for 2022 and my upcoming experience for 2023. So, this year I'm definitely taking a step back in traveling. Last year I covered 6 countries, but this year I'm actually going to scale back on the number of countries that I'm going to visit, so simply to get some new certifications. Right now, I'm in the process of getting my cloud certification, and I'm going to take some couple of months off, just focus on that, and hopefully get my first certification as a practitioner within the cloud space in AWS. Also, too, I recently left my employment with Deloitte, where I'm actually doing current interviews with other software companies. Keep in mind that I'm doing these interviews out here in Dominican Republic. I wouldn't recommend anyone to do interviews out here in the Dominican Republic, simply the fact that the noise is too much. Besides having loud motorcultures driving through the neighborhoods and loud speakers constantly banging, it's kind of hard to really speak your mind and conduct a full-fledged interview with all the masses and noises happening all around you. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been doing interviews with this particular company, and I had to constantly remind them, like, listen, hey, I'm in Dominican Republic, please. My apologies for the noise that you're hearing in the background, such as the motorcycles, with their blasted pipes driving through, but also too the loudspeakers. If anyone who ever been to the Dominican Republic, they're very loud, festive people. Again, nothing against them, that's their culture. But just keep in mind, if you're trying to host a meeting or conduct interviews as a digital nomad, be mindful of the noise conditions. Make sure you find a place that is conducive for you to actually conduct these interviews. Because again, for the past week or so, all of my interviews, I had to let them know straight up that, hey, listen, I'm in the Dominican Republic. I apologize for the loud noise. And some of them didn't have any issues with it, which is great. But just something to keep in mind as a digital nomad as you continue to explore this career as working overseas, but also just being mindful that, wherever you decide to lay your head in regards to for your meetings, make sure that they're noise conducive. So now I'm actually doing tons of interviews for director roles, and which is kind of cool because I definitely look forward to doing these interviews, and I've been presenting a lot of my portfolios and some of my previous work. And again, my goal is to remain remote. However, I am open to becoming hybrid. So I do let them know I do have the option to go into the office, but I don't want that to be my primary objective. So I am flexible to come into the office and actually work with the team as a director. But my goal is to continue to work remote, but I am flexible. So guys, right now with the current workspace environment, a lot of the tech space are requesting people to come back into the office. So try to keep yourself flexible. I understand you want to work remote and travel overseas and so forth, but keep in mind your primary objective of your job is to make money. Now, if you want a cheap, low-paying customer service job, so you work where you can live overseas, then that's your business. I'm accustomed to making six figures. I've been making six figures for the past 10 years, and all the positions that I'm aiming for are six figures. So I only have so much leg room for me to give just to work overseas. I'd rather make six figures, above six figures, yet still work, live within the United States, but yet have the option to travel overseas, guys. So always keep that in mind. I know that a lot of you guys are eager to work overseas, but make sure you focus on your skills. Make sure you have updated skills. Make sure you have employable skills that companies are willing to pay for you to work remotely. I know there's a lot of people out there just saying, hey, just get a job, just get a digital nomad job. But you know what? There's levels to this shit. Sorry to say, there's levels to this. If you want a low-paying customer service job where you can live overseas, hey, you can find that. There's tons of those jobs. But if you want a high-paying six-figure job where you can actually continue to make money as you continue to age in your profession, then yes, get those skill sets. Look into the cloud certifications fields. Look into pharmaceutical. Look into cybersecurity, digital marketing. These are the fields that's currently actually still employing tons of people throughout this entire layoff, which I'm actually going to highlight later. And one thing too I want to talk about is, guys, make health your top priority for 2023. I know that I'm a big advocate in just talking about getting your health in order, but guys, we lost a lot of our soldiers, a lot of our men, travel brothers who passed recently due to not taking care of their health or due to other pre-existing issues. Guys, go see the doctor. It's the first month of the year. It doesn't take much for you to go see your doctor. You're paying the medical insurance, so you might as well just use it. Don't be afraid to utilize your medical insurance because you're already paying for it. So go get your annual checkup. Check everything. Your STDs, your colon, your prostate. Check everything. Even check your heart. Guys, you'd be amazed that some of us are walking time bombs. And we need to make time for ourselves that we go out there and see the proper nutritionist, doctor specialist, the proper specialist to get the help that we need. So always keep that in mind, guys. And just learn, find something interesting that you want to do. Either be boxing, either be creating content, or just spending time with your family, guys. Try to find a hobby outside of YouTube. A lot of us could get glued into YouTube, watching all these videos on the Manosphere, Passport Bros, and everything else. Guys, work on yourself, man. Find a new skill set. Either you want to study for a new certification, if you want to pick up a new fighting technique such as boxing or MMA. Learn something, guys. Make 2023 the year that you learn something new. Guys, the great thing about life is every day is a new day to learn something new. So always apply yourself. Now, my goals for 2023 is to scale back on the number of trips that I've done last year and focus on quality experience. So I will no longer be doing the same typical countries that I've normally done in the past, but I'll be actually exploring new places such as Africa. Yes, I'm going back to Africa. The last trip that I was in Africa was back in 2018 when I went to South Africa. This year, I'm actually traveling to Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and Tanzania. Yes, I'll be actually doing all four of those countries this year. So I'm scaling back on the number of countries that I'm visiting just to do these big four countries. So that's my goal for 2023. But also too, I'll be actually going to Australia as well as Belize. The Belize is more of a vacation trip. So yeah, me and my shorty, we're gonna take a trip out there and just enjoy the country. So guys, open yourself to new places. Don't continue to do the same Colombia, Dominican Republic, and Brazil's. If you are, there's more to see within those countries. Don't do the same cities. But definitely let 2023 be a year that you explore new destinations, and don't let it be for the women. Don't let it be the women, guys. And again, I'll speak on that later. Now, today's traveling landscape is changing. As you guys know, within the United States, there's been a massive amount of layoffs that's happening within within Q4 2022. And even now, there's recent news that Amazon have laid off over 18,000 people. Salesforce have laid off 11,000 people. And as of right now, since December, there has been over 200,000 tech jobs have been eliminated. Yes, 200,000 tech jobs have been eliminated. So there are 200,000 people and counting that are currently laid off looking for work, guys. Guys, it's important that you continue to work on your skill set. Either be a new skill or the existing skill, try to keep yourself demanding. You know, if you want to continue to be part of this digital nomad landscape, you got to keep your skills updated. It's not about just traveling, being overseas, guys. Don't forget, you do have a livelihood. You do got family to feed. If you do have a family, so always keep in mind that yes, traveling is amazing. It's great to get that passport and just go, but make sure your home is taken care of, guys. I think a lot of people are not talking about that. They just say, hey, get your passport and just leave. But guys, focus on you. Focus on your skill set. Focus on your business. Focus on new opportunities that you can actually get into. Traveling will always be there, guys. Traveling will always be there. And just when it comes, you'll be ready to take that trip. And as I said before, let 2023 be the year that you experience new things, new culture, new ideas, new foods. There's no need to continue to do the same countries constantly year after year after year, guys. Again, I'm not counting your pockets. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. All I'm saying that utilize your passport accordingly, guys. You only have one life to live. One life to live, like, so live your best life. There's a lot of great options out there that are a lot affordable, that are much affordable to the countries that you're currently going to. So always keep that in mind. And guys, again, one of the great things about a passport is it gives you new exposure to new countries and new cultures. I understand, right now the current narrative is being pushed at, passport bros, we travel for women. We travel for women. That's all we do. We don't go for the culture. We don't go for the customs. And I want to change that. Again, I can't tell you what to do with your time and money, but I say this: if you have a passport, utilize accordingly. I know this is going to fall to deaf ears, and only a few people are going to listen to me, but guys, your experience will not be the same as my experience, because you know why? I take the time to learn what I want to do, and I do the research and I apply it. So guys, as you have your green card, which is AKA the passport, use that accordingly, guys. Go out there and explore what's out there and see the amazing beauty of this world, guys. When I went to Thailand, I was just amazed about the culture, the food, just the people. And that really brought that inspiration to me to go out there and see the world even a lot further. So I'm not traveling for the same reasons that everyone else is. And again, there's a lot of conversation that men are traveling for the same reasons. I don't agree with that. I've met a lot of brothers who out there who got their shit together, who making crazy amount of money, and they don't travel for the same reason as everyone else does. So you need to figure out what are your reasons why you're traveling. And for me, as I said, it's always been about the culture, because simply I could get a woman. That's not a problem. That's never been a primary objective, because I've never had an issue getting a woman in the States, so I could get it overseas. But now it's really enjoying and seeing things that I'm not accustomed to seeing. So guys, again, this is not a hot topic, and most of my podcast episodes would not be interesting to y'all because you guys want to focus on just one primary objective. What separates myself and other top tier travelers is that we focus on quality experiences, guys. It's not about a one level, low vibration focus. You need to focus on yourself, focus on putting yourself in a better position to win, but also put yourself in a position to explore and try different things. Because trust me, women will always be there, no matter what. You take the time to focus on yourself, the prize is always there, man. And I want you to understand that if you want to continue to focus to have this as your primary reason why you travel, then that's on you. But I tell you this, you'll be missing out on a lot of experiences. Because you know why? When a woman see you on your purpose, when a woman see you on your ground, you making money, put yourself in a position, trust me, the respect will be there. And trust me, they will desire you even more. So while a lot of guys are telling you to go out there and just get your passport and show up, you better put yourself in a position where you stand out from the crowd. Because like right now, there's a lot of dudes with passport going to the same destination that you're going, fighting for the same women that these women are running game on. Yes, they don't want to tell you that a lot of these women are running games on these dudes out there. For the guys who've been in this travel game for the longest, we will tell you how things actually operate. So guys, put yourself in a position where you can win and meet other like-minded people. Surround yourself with good quality people and get quality experience. And you too can find the wife or girlfriend or have the quality job that you want, where you could actually succeed while traveling. So again, put yourself in a position to do that, and we could go from there. So that's what I wanted to start off, is just basically, guys, separate yourself from the crowd right now. Again, no ill will towards the passport bros, the blue book gentlemen. If you guys want to, leave with your dick in your hand and looking for women for your travels, that's on you. But I say, take the time to put yourself in a better position. Put yourself in a position where you're making $200,000. When you're making $200,000 a year, where you're not impacted by the recession. Put yourself in a position where you can meet quality people, get quality experience. What are you doing besides just getting a passport? Because like right now, everyone has a passport. But the question is, what are you doing to separate yourself from everyone else that is going to the same destination that you're going to? The Dominican Republics, the Colombia, the Brazils. What are you doing? I know what I'm doing is I'm definitely setting myself apart from everyone else. It's just time. So I'm aiming to increase my salary, to double my salary. I'm aiming to learn new skills by getting new certifications this year. And also I'm aiming to explore new countries. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm currently in the Dominican Republic, been here for the past 3 weeks and plan to be here for about a month. And I've been keeping a low profile, watching, observing, see how things operate. But also I've been exploring new business opportunities. And while I'm in Brazil, I'm not getting crunked lit. I'm just kind of keeping a normal day life. I walk to the store, go to the bodega, grab me some things, grab me some snacks, whatever. Come home, chill, relax. Sometimes I sleep in. Some days, I just don't do anything. I'm just watching YouTube and just studying. So guys, always keep that in mind. Let 2023 be the year that you do something different. Things are changing around us. We're getting a lot of attention now as passport bros, as black men traveling. And you don't want nobody to tell your story. If you're going to tell your story, you tell it. Don't let the people with false perception of you and why you travel. All right, cool. So guys, I want to talk about the landscape of the digital nomad. And as you guys know, a lot of you guys have a desire to work remotely and prefer to work remotely overseas. But keep in mind, due to the current landscape, a lot of companies are laying off tons of IT workers. Just a recent study, recent numbers, since December, there have been over 200,000 tech jobs been released. 200,000 tech job released, and most of the tech jobs are probably remote. And keep in mind, the average tech salary is $104,000. That's the average. So imagine what the top tier tech employee makes versus the low tier, if the average is at 104. So, as I said before, as companies continue to make more layoffs, take this time to learn a new skill set, either be into the cybersecurity or into the AWS cloud world space, such as AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, Microsoft Azure. Make sure that you learn what's the latest demanding skills that requires your attention. Because the last thing you want to do is put yourself in a market where your skills is no longer demanded. I've been in the digital marketing space for the past 14 years. I've continued to update my skill set, but also I realized I want to learn a new trade. And what better field to get into is cloud or cybersecurity. I think within these two fields, these fields will always be demanding. They'll always have the flexibility where you can work remotely. And there's tons of jobs. Like right now, I did a Google search within Indeed, trying to figure out how many jobs are there for cloud and cybersecurity. There's over 300,000. There's over 300,000 positions around cloud and cybersecurity right now. So guys, if you have that certification within the cloud space or cybersecurity, it's always a demanding job for you. Now, granted, within the other industries, a lot of jobs are becoming more automated. So, a lot of people are going to get phased out. So guys, if you don't prop yourself with the right skills, or where you can make over six figures. I know people all claim 6 figures, but a lot of people are really not making 6 figures. The average income within the United States is $45,000 a year. That's the average American income, $45,000 a year. So imagine if you're making $160,000 a year or $200,000 a year. You're literally in the top 10%. So now imagine taking that $200,000 salary to Colombia, to Dominican Republic, to Brazil, to Argentina, or to Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Thailand. Dude, you're a rich man. I know that a lot of guys try to position themselves, well, if I make $45,000 a year and I live in Thailand, I'm considered top 10%. Yeah, but why settle for $45,000 where you can make $200,000? I'm just saying, why settle for $45,000 where you could just take 3 months out of the year, study a new trade, a new certification, or improve your certification, your skill set, and can make over $150,000 a year while living in Thailand. It just makes business sense to do that. So keep in mind, as more companies continue to lay off in 2023, guys, take the time to learn a new skill set. Stop watching these YouTube channels. Stop, focusing on what Passport Bros are doing, or the Manosphere, or any other bullshit that's not happening. Focus on yourself. Put yourself in a position where you could take a month off and it won't hurt you. I'm taking a whole month off. I've been casually submitting my resume to these companies, and I'm getting calls within 24 hours. Today, I actually did an interview with a software company, and it went quite well. The only thing for me, I was getting agitated with the motor control driving back and forth, as well as the loudspeakers. But I'm in Dominican Republic. I should have expected that. So next time I know if I'm ever going to do rounds of interviews, let me go to a place, let me book an Airbnb or a spot that's away from all the noise. So always keep that in mind. But the digital nomad is changing. The landscape of the digital nomad is changing. Recently, I came across an article that says that a lot of companies are putting a clause within their NDA disclosure that tells you that you're not allowed to work overseas. So you're getting a lot of these new guys that just got a recent remote job, eagerly to go to Colombia and Dominican Republic and Brazil to work. And they're requesting for like special VPNs to hide their IP address. Guys, do not risk your livelihood just to live overseas. It does not make any sense. If you have a high, good paying job, do not risk it just because you want to be overseas. These companies could trace your location due to the laptop. The laptop is their asset, so they can trace your location. If the disclosure tells you do not work overseas, don't risk it. Don't go overseas and work overseas. Stay your ass in the States and travel. When you make enough money where you can take time off and go out and travel and enjoy yourself. But I'm hearing a lot of guys in these WhatsApp groups and these Facebook groups stating that, there's ways you can hide your IP address and everything else. Guys, they can track you by your laptop. Your laptop is their asset. You don't think that laptop has a tracking or some type of tracking capability where they can know your location? So guys, don't risk it. Just let's say I'm working overseas. Like, to be honest, working overseas can be a little overrated because trust me, if you have a good paying job, a good demanding job, you're spending majority of your time indoors. There have been times where in the past where I worked overseas, I literally didn't go out for 2 days. Like I was just trying to figure out what the problem was, trying to provide work on the presentation. So always keep that in mind, guys. Don't risk your employment just to be overseas. If your contract clearly states that you're not supposed to work overseas, they require you to work only within the United States. Don't be slick and try to get a VPN and say, I could, run game around this company and work overseas. Guys, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just take the time off, enjoy your vacation, come back and grind again. And as I said before, guys, more layoffs scheduled to come, especially if you're within the tech industry, customer service industry. A lot of jobs are scheduled to come in and be deleted. So just prepare yourself for that. Take the time to learn new skills and go from there. So just wanted to say that again. I wanted to start off the year off with a podcast. I've been in DR for the past 3 weeks, just keeping just keeping it low, being lazy. But a side of me is kind of anxious to get back to the States so I can start grinding again. I mean, grinding in a good way, get back into the gym, get back into doing my routine. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And just kind of looking forward to just challenging myself, I just realized I don't like just having too much time in my hands. And I like keeping a routine going. I'm very stringent, military style routine where I start my day at 6 a.m., gym workouts, spending time with my boys, working on my projects and so everything else. Here in DR, I don't really have that strict routine with me. I tend to be real lazy, which I understand because, when you're out here, you just want to be festive. You want to go out and party, have a great time. But, I feel like there's so much that needs to be accomplished before I could do all that. So I'm willing to scale back on the fun times so I could just focus on making things happen in 2023. My goal is to purchase a apartment building this year. And again, pick up some new certifications, increase my salary, but also to explore some new countries similar to what I did with Thailand last year. Thailand brought the love of traveling back. Thailand brought the enthusiasm and exploring new things and seeing and meeting different people. And I really thank Thailand for that. If you guys haven't gone to Thailand, I highly recommend that country to go to. It will definitely changes everything. It's totally worth it. That's all I have to say. But besides that, guys, what I could tell you is focus on learning a new skill. The economy is changing. The travel landscape is changing. I foresee a lot of things changing within the travel space. I foresee a lot of people not going to travel this year. I think people are going to scale back, save, and hunker down. We're entering a recession. You guys, if some of you guys don't know, but we are entering a recession. I foresee a lot of traveling not happening. A lot of people are going to scale back on their travel options. If they are going to travel, they're going to focus on quality experiences. More layoffs, of course. And just, guys, buckle down, man. Focus on you. If you are a traveling black man, help change this narrative that's being pushed on us that we're traveling for one thing. I don't agree with that. I don't think that every black man is traveling just to go find a wife. Some of us are traveling just to escape. Some of us are traveling to, explore different things, people, and places. This thing where we're all traveling to find a wife is completely false. So I'm going to be joining a lot of more live streams with other people, hoping to change the narrative. Of course, I do promote Black Men Travels, and Black Men Travels focus on digital nomad, health, relationship, and business ventures. So those are the 4 pillars of Black Men Travels, and I want to continue to highlight those things. Again, these are not sexy conversations; these are not hot conversations, topics. But I think this needs to be had. We can't all talk about the same thing. We all can't get along. I'm not expecting to get along with every YouTuber that focus on traveling. There's a lot of things that I don't agree, and I'm going to speak my mind on that. But at the same time, you're a grown ass man. You can do whatever you want with your time and money, but just don't bitch when shit doesn't fall the way you plan because you didn't take the time to research. So it is what it is. 2023, I'm definitely scaling back on my travels. Last year I did 6 countries. This year I'm scaling back. Now I'm definitely focused on more quality travel experiences. And as I said before during the top of the hour, is that I'm actually going to Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. That's my big trip for 2023. So I'm willing to scale back and not go into the other lesser countries and just focus on those 4 countries. And hopefully I can squeeze in Australia. I really do want to go to Australia. My goal is to hit all 7 continents. So even if I go to Australia for a week, and I'll definitely do that. But definitely the big 4, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, will be an amazing trip. That's going to be my mother trip of the year. I'm expecting to put 3 weeks in for that trip, and I'm gonna, whew, guys, I'm upgrading my equipment. I'm actually learning more how to edit, learn how to use my camera. I do have a Canon M50, which I'm going to start using more often. Start using my Sigma lenses, guys. I really want to enjoy this travel experience that we have. Not too many of us have that opportunity, and I think sometimes we take it for granted. We take it for granted. Not There's not too many of us out there traveling like that. As much as people want to think that we are, man, there's guys who have their passport that never used it. So if you are that 10% of guys that actually use your passport, kudos to you. Because trust me, that 90 or 95% of men do not travel the way we travel. So that's all I want to say, man. I'm actually, doing a live from DR. I normally have my equipment with me, my mic, everything else, but I'm actually doing it in the kitchen, in the living room area. But I'm definitely looking forward to 23, the good and the bad and the ugly. And I wish you guys the same. Just work on yourself, guys. Get that new skill set, either be in cybersecurity, cloud certification, or any tech new certification that's out there that's going to be demanding for the next 10 years. Look into it. Take the time to work on yourself. Trust me, women will always be there. And also to explore new country, guys. There's tons of countries that you can look into to actually become, to work remotely and become a digital nomad. I was just looking to the list of countries that actually provide digital nomad visas, such as Bali, New Mexico City, Lisbon, Portugal, Budapest, Hungary, Chiang Mai, Thailand, Bucharest, Romania, Medellin, Colombia. Guys, there's so many other countries out there that you could actually explore if you decide to become a digital nomad. But make sure you have the clearance to work overseas, guys. Don't lose your paying your salary just to work overseas. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Now, if you want a low-paying customer service job just to live overseas, to say that you live overseas, go ahead and do you. But for me, I'm used to seeing a certain paycheck, and I want to see more. Actually, I want to double it. So I'm gonna put myself in a position to do that as a black man travels, and I want you guys to do the same. So, with that being said, that's it, man. This wasn't meant to be a long conversation. If you guys want to jump on the line, I could add the link. But I just wanted to just highlight, 2023 is going to be a challenging year for a lot of folks. And I know this whole thing, get your passport and just travel, yes, but put yourself in a position where if you are able to travel, you don't have the stress that comes with it. Because as much as traveling is fun, it can be very stressful as well. I know a lot of our veterans out there can speak on that. Just before I actually got to DR, I spent 2 days and spent over $1,000 in buying new tickets to get to DR due to the fiasco that was happening within the United States. So that's about it, man. I guess we got someone. 1 second. Hey, was that Jeff? I mean, not Jeff. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce your name. How you pronounce your name?
Joseph.
Oh, Joseph. Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
I'm doing all right, man. So what's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to drop in real quick and say that I've seen your your post about, or your thread rather, about Thailand and the
Yeah,
group.
yeah, yeah.
And it was inspiring. Something
Oh,
I
okay.
considered going to. I mean, I didn't know the whole backstory, but apparently you were very much against it. Like you had a favorite until you went to Thailand, and I guess you became a convert.
You know, you know what? I can speak on that. I was ignorant. I was ignorant, and of course, I was a Latin American guy. I've done Latin America for quite some time, and I never had any desire to go to Asia. But you realize Asia is not about the women; it's the culture, the people, the lifestyle, man. And it's just like you there, and you understand there's more to it. And after experiencing 5 cities in 2 weeks, like I literally did 5 cities in Thailand, that changed everything. And just the people, it's just the people. it just made me realize like, wow, I can see myself retiring here. I wouldn't retire in
Mm,
Pattaya, but definitely more like Chiang Mai or Bangkok. But I think just the people that I've met, the Buddha culture, it's just the
mm,
bowing and the karma, just being nice to everyone. I wasn't used to that, and
mm.
it took me aback because as much as we love Latin America is not nice. As much people want to say it is, it's not as nice as everyone think it is. But it was a great experience.
Now, where are you from in America?
I'm from Miami, Florida originally, but I currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia.
ATL. Hmm. So that's part of why you wasn't used to the hospitality that was in Thailand. Did it shock
Uh,
you?
I mean, I lived in Chicago. I went to graduate school in Chicago. I lived in Texas somewhat. It's just not that. It was just like, you know what? It was no end goal as to how people were treating you. Like they wasn't expecting something in return.
Ah,
And two is just the bowing, the smiling. Yes, even though they don't have much, it's just like, they were, I wouldn't say they were content, but it's like they make do what they have. And I like how creative they were and how they conduct themselves, just in regards to their business, and just I don't know, it was just something about it just stood out from all the countries that I've been to, and I felt like, you know what, I need to come back. And granted, beautiful women there, all shades of color. I met black ties to white ties, depending on what region you are in Thailand. But I guess I
mm,
like the newness of the country because I've been all over Latin America. I speak Spanish, so that was kind of common for me. But when I went to Thailand, it was just the newness of the country that made me realize, you know what, I need to continue to travel to more countries.
mm. So
Yeah.
you think that had you went to Thailand first, that probably would have been like your anchoring point, and then the newness of going to Colombia or the Latin American countries would have been the same reaction that you had with Thailand?
Well, being from Miami, Miami has
Uh,
tons of Hispanics. So I was raised around Colombians, Brazilians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. So that wouldn't change anything. I think it was the fact that it was something that's brand new. It's similar to when I went to Africa. When I went to South Africa was my top country. And simply the fact that I love to see the black folks that were there and the different African culture. But once I went to Thailand again, I think it just brought that newness of like why we travel. Like, when I'm in Dominican Republic, it's Dominican Republic to me. It's like, okay, it's a routine. But now that I experienced Thailand and South Africa, like now I want to go back to Africa and then do those four countries that I talked about: Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania. Those countries I've never been before. So I'm kind of excited going to these countries so I can start doing my research and plan for those countries. Like when I go to Colombia, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Brazil, I don't plan for those countries because I already know
no,
I kind of know already.
yeah.
But Thailand, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like when the plane landed, my heart was pumping. I was nervous. I was like, because for one, I was by myself. I was totally by myself, and like this is so brand new to me. I didn't even know what to expect, and I kind of like that. I like that
Yeah,
newness of traveling. When you go into the same country, the same city, doing the same things, you kind of lose it a little bit.
interesting.
What do you agree? What do you think?
I haven't. Well, I'm going to find. I'm going to find out in about 2.5 months. So it has been a long journey. Just trying to. Well, my experience was just first traveling across the country first. So it's kind of
Okay,
where I felt led to do because I was trying to jump the gun. I got my passport 3 years ago. Um, Before it became as popular as it did, it's just something kept telling me to do it. So I went and got it just before COVID hit. So I never had a chance to go outside the country yet, but I was led to go, like it was kind of like explore the states first, which is what I did. I went
okay,
the whole Route 66 route, and that's how I found out that I wanted to travel because traveling is something that, like you said, is very difficult and it can be very challenging, and there can be a lot of problems that you have to endure. A lot of people don't like to
yes,
travel. They like
yes,
it's the glamour of being it's the idea of traveling. I think people are addicted to. I want to get away, but it's the process. You have to actually love the process to actually travel. If you don't like going
Thank
on
you.
planes, traveling is probably not for you. If you don't like, I drove across the country by myself, 5 days by myself, and I went through hell. But in a weird way, I enjoyed it. So it was like, so I had to go through that process to discover, yeah, I really do want to travel outside the country now. But I had to go through that process first. So I'm going to find out in about 2 months. I got someone lined up. I got a tour guide lined up in Brazil, Rio, Brazil.
Okay. Okay.
I heard that's probably like a good starter place to go to.
It
I
is
don't know Portuguese.
yes, yes. I went to
You agree?
Brazil my first time. Yeah, I first went to Brazil back in 2017, and one
Mm,
of the first places I've been to was Rio. I was in Rio. Well, in 2017, I said to myself, you know what? I want to do three cities. So what I did, I flew into Rio, spent 3 days in Rio, and I took another flight from Rio to Salvador. Spent 4 days in Salvador, and then and took another flight from Salvador to Sao Paulo, and did 3 days in Sao Paulo. So that way, it kind of gave me three unique, different experiences of Brazil. And what I liked about it, yes, it was challenging because Brazil speaks Portuguese. I don't speak Portuguese. And
okay.
I was one of these travelers like, you know what, I'm not gonna learn this. I'm just gonna show up and just do my thing. Man, it was challenging.
Spanish?
It was yes, I figured I used Spanish. They looked at me like I was crazy.
They were was they offended? I don't know.
You know what? They were not offended. They just knew that I wasn't from there.
Mm,
And I guess too, it's like, you know, if they see you carry yourself a certain manner, they're gonna take you more seriously. So as I was moving around Brazil, speaking Spanish, they were speaking back in Portuguese, but they knew that like I was American. I told them I was American. You know, I didn't speak Portuguese, so they were kind of more relaxed, more chill with that. But I did a tour guide as well. So he gave me a tour in Rio. Had a tour guide in São Paulo, and had a tour guide in Bahia. And out of the three cities, I like Bahia the most. Bahia was the best experience that I had in Brazil.
hmm.
It's just funny. Most of the cities that I like are the cities that most guys don't go to.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is that like is that a natural liking of the city, or do you like it because it's so much different from what other people go to? Like it's not the
It's
tourists.
it's both. I think it's both.
Both.
If anything, I like the fact that it was just different, and when it wasn't commercialized. Like this is in Thailand, I really enjoyed Chiang Mai and I enjoyed Bangkok because those cities are not commercialized compared to Phuket and Pattaya. So in Chiang Mai, dude, I was like maybe the only black guy with a good 50-mile radius.
Well,
And yeah, and there were places time where I would walk around Chiang Mai. People wanted to take pictures of me because I'm 6 feet tall, 250 pound, linebacker build. They thought I was a athlete, a football player. So, I've been called Tyson. I'm like, okay, and people want to take pictures of me. I'm like, okay, let's take a picture. At first, I said no. Then the person I was with at the time, she was like, no, that's a compliment. They want to take pictures. Then they probably never met a black guy before. So I was like, all right, cool. Took pictures with them.
see, you represented us, man. That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great experience in Bahia. I think what stood out Bahia for me compared to Rio and Sao Paulo, Bahia gave me that true Afro-Brazilian experience. Like when I walked around, people thought I was Brazilian until I opened my mouth. So like in Rio, you could stand out in Rio because they know, okay, you're probably American. But in Bahia, there's people that look just like us. Like I'm dark. There are people darker than me. And there were guys and women, beautiful, chilling on the beach, getting their suntan, just enjoying themselves, man. Just black folks. And you see black folks in the sun, you don't see that too often, man. Chilling in the sun, getting the suntan, you don't see that often.
No, not at least not where I've been to. I've been to quite a few beaches, even in Florida and California.
I'm from
I
Miami.
like Miami.
I'm from Miami. We black folks, we don't go to the beach. We go to the beach at sunset. When the sun is going down, that's the time we go to the beach. But in Brazil, folks they love their suntan. They love the sun. It's a beach culture. It's a fitness culture. You go to the gym in Brazil, everyone's working out. Like, don't try to holler at a chick in Brazil. She's gonna look at you like, yo, what do you want? I'm working out.
I believe it. I mean, I think it's because a lot of it has to do with the sun. At least that's just what I've seen in California. It's just that you you're motivated to go outside and exercise just for no reason at all. You just want to do it. So that's just the sun. It does something to you. Whereas like, here in Detroit where I'm from, it forces you to hibernate. You don't want to do nothing. You don't want to exercise. You have to make yourself do it because the sun is not there to motivate you to do it. So I think that's a big part of it.
Trust me, I lived in Chicago for 10 years, went to graduate school in Chicago. When winter hits, you're gonna hibernate. You're gonna hibernate for a good 5 months.
Yeah, 6-7 months. Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Hey, Marty, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Oh man, good to talk to you live.
Hey, thank you, man.
Thanks for taking the time out of your vacation to rap to us, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, and hello to you, sir. I'm sorry I didn't catch your name.
Joseph.
Joseph. Yeah, Marty, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So, yeah, Kano, I was taking some notes on what you were saying and what you were talking about the layoffs, man. It's a serious situation, man. My, when I went to see my niece and her husband last week, I noticed she wasn't really talking too much about her job, and she's at Salesforce. So,
Salesforce just laid off 11,000 people today.
They just knocked off, exactly. And then their CEO was saying like the remote workers are lazy. So, I mean, that could become a trend. These corporations all tend to do the same thing. And maybe they start, not offering remote work. So that directly affects the Passport Brothers' opportunities in many ways. So we got to start getting realistic, about what is the plan going forward. I mean, are some of us just going to be doing vacations, which is fine, but I think we're getting like multiple mixed messages on these channels. And it's like, if we got some brothers that are serious about expatting or working remotely, we need to, give them real information, what I'm saying? Not just mix them in with guys who want to hang out at the brothel, 7 days, 24 hours on, 7 days out of an 8-day vacation. It's like we're being all, and this is what we were talking about earlier, we're all being lumped in the same damn boat. And I think black men we really can't afford that, man. Like we really need plans forward. And my one criticism about Brother Charles Tyler, rest in peace, is that his message didn't really come with a lot of details behind it. It was more like a visionary statement. And I guess maybe it was more for the people around him to kind of fill in the blanks, but just get your passport is not a viable message anymore in 2023. I mean, that for one, that should be basics. Like I've had my passport for like 20 years now, but what are we trying to do as black men to better our condition?
I agree.
We got to get real specific, man. We're not in math 101 anymore. It's time to move up to calculus.
I totally agree. It's interesting. Today I had an interview, and this is for a director role for a SaaS company, a software company, and I talked about my travel blog website, Black Man Travels, and I was proud to talk about Black Man Travels. I was very proud to talk about it. I wasn't afraid to show it.
Yep.
Like how many people could actually take the time to show what they do overseas? Not many. Not many. So for me, I shared my website with the recruiter and with everyone else. And I spoke very proudly about it. I showed the content that I created, the blogs, the videos that I edited. And they were really impressed by it. It's like, wow, you do this during your spare time? Yes. Like for me, it's a branding. I cannot associate myself with Passport Bro due to the current connotation that is attached to it. It is what it is. It's like, I understand if we could change that narrative, then yes. But right now, as a brand, as a corporate brand, as Black Man Travel, and as a marketer, I have to be mindful of who I associate my name and my brand with. Because if Passport Bro is only known for just traveling for ass, dude, I don't want to be associated with that. I mean, I just feel like there's certain things that don't need to be said. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I know you smashing, bro. You don't need to tell me. If you're out in Colombia, I already know what you're doing. It's like, all right, cool. But I want to know where the best restaurants, where the best lounges and tourist sites to go to. That's what I want to know. I could care less if you find a wife or not. That's not my motivation. But it's interesting when I say that, I'm labeled a hater. And I'm like, bro, I've been doing this. I'm like 37 countries deep in. You got 2 countries on your belt or 1. But
here's the question I have for you. In the beginning, when you started traveling and going outside the country, was that not the same motivation initially for you in the beginning as it is for a lot of guys who are just now coming into the game now?
No.
At least to some degree.
I think it's to some degree it probably did, but I didn't make it known to the public. Because like I kind of knew, like, okay, I'm single, but also I was traveling when I was married too. Yeah. So I was traveling with my wife and kids. So I was traveling when I was 18-year-old as a single young man, but also too, I traveled as a married man. But I continued to travel. My thing is, don't have that be your primary reason why you travel. Like, I'm getting my passport so I could prove to you that I can find a better woman. That can be really? That's the reason why you're traveling? And they don't talk about, dude, a lot of games that's being played are overseas. As much as they don't want to admit it.
Exactly.
And then also too, they don't talk about a lot of these guys are going to the same watering hole that these other passport bros are going to. So you literally banging and talking to the same chick.
Man, these guys are literally fighting over prostitutes, man, and like chicks who are straight up gringo hunters. So like when Canola leaves Colombia, Joseph comes there next week, she's gonna get with him. That's her man for that week. When Joseph leaves, I'm her man. And they're literally juggling. I mean, they're so scandalous. They're showing multiple dudes to their fucking families, dude. Like they're taking. It's all part of a fucking act in many cases, man. So we have no idea the kind of skullduggery that goes on in these countries because these chicks do this shit for survival, man. This ain't no damn game for them. You know,
it's always been that way, hasn't it? Though. I mean, the only difference now is that because you have the internet, it can be, photographed, publicized, and the information can spread much faster than it ever could before. But it's been like this for thousands of years, hasn't it? I mean, it's just that you would never know who that lady has been with prior to you. And you didn't really care. So I think it's just the age we live in now. It's like the moment a guy sees a girl, he can post that same girl. And then someone else say, oh, I've been with that girl. But never before in human history has that ever been possible. So, I mean, but this what is going on it's always been that way. It's always since Jesus' time. Well, even having these issues.
But you know what? I do agree with you. I think, but the problem is you have guys that are literally going to the same location, the same cities, going to the same venues, targeting the same women. Now, that's why I said if you go to Dominican Republic or Brazil, Colombia, let's say the Power 3, there are so many other cities you could go to, but a lot of guys don't venture out because they're afraid. And it's okay to be afraid. Whenever I travel to new countries, I'm always afraid. I'm always, like I was telling you earlier, dude, my heart was pounding when that plane landed because this is brand new to me. But I took that chance. And I took a chance in Thailand where I went to Chiang Mai, the northern city in Chiang Rai, which are the 2 northern cities of Thailand. I was literally the only black guy out there at some point. When I'm walking around, people looking at me like what this black man doing here?
Wait, is it Chiang Mai or Chiang Rai?
I went to both cities, Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I spent 5 days up in the northern region of Thailand. And when I was up there, man, it just gave me a whole different experience. And yes, you can meet women out there too. But again, don't let that be your primary reason why you go. You're gonna meet them regardless. Just don't lead with it. And trust me, a lot of guys they walk with their dick in their hand, showing their interest up front, and these girls could see that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. I mean, we bring that scarcity mindset over there, and you literally got guys in these groups competing and trying to one up each other, make each other look bad over these damn gringo hunters and groupies, man. It's like it's not that damn serious, dude. Like get your self-esteem another way, man.
But that's how it is in America. So they're
exactly
in America. So I don't even blame it. It's like I'm guessing that they would have to travel often enough for that habit to be broken, for them to see that it's actually an abundance of women. But right now, it's kind of like here in America, it's like the what? Even on Tinder, like if you go on Tinder, you might be the 5%, 95% are swiping for the same girl. So it's completely unbalanced. So that mentality is already there, where you're fighting for that same average girl. So when they come to another country, then they're going to take that, they're taking their behaviors and their habits and what they had to learn to get laid in the first place in another country where it's not necessary.
So the magic word, Joseph, average. I mean, because I've seen some of these chicks these dudes are claiming, and I'm like, really, you travel for that, man? Like,
but for them, it's probably a slam dunk, because what we consider average. I mean, I'm not to toot my own horn, but I know I'm above average type of guy, like model and 6 feet and everything. Like I'm that stereotypical talk. I'm that. So I see being in that percentage, and then the other guys who women would literally turn their backs to them and start talking to me, and I'm the one checking them. Like, damn, you just go do him like that. Like I don't want to talk. Like I'm defending them because I see the way they treat guys. So my guess is that a lot of these average guys here in the States, what we consider average in perhaps like a Brazil or Colombia or wherever, is probably 2 or 3 steps above what they're used to getting here in the States. So they don't even think it's average.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally agree, because again, someone who was raised in Miami or LA, we're more accustomed to seeing baddies like left and right versus someone who's coming out of Mississippi or coming out of Arkansas. Right. So I totally understand, but the thing is, once you get on the plane, you should leave that scarcity mindset in the States and understand it. Once you're there, have an abundance, explore, move around, and you'll be amazed what you see. The problem is you have a lot of guys that don't want to move around. They're okay in just sharing the same watering hole. Like I literally had guys over the years that I've been traveling who would reach out to me like, hey, who was the girl that was in the video with you? I would like to have her number.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh,
that's so
like
I hate
that. I'm like, bro.
So find your own girl to put in your own video. Who's not anything like the one you saw?
Oh man. Do you want to watch me have sex with her too? I mean, what the fuck?
Hey.
Excuse my language,
but that's the scarcity mindset a lot of guys have. So when we tell these guys to go get the passport and just come to these countries, we need to make sure that they're mentally and emotionally prepared to do that. Because again, the first person that they lay their eyes on, they may get caught up.
Yep.
Hence the drugging and robbing that's happening over Colombia, the Medellin and Cartagena. Or they may meet a girl that can run game on them and like, hey, listen, my mom need this, my mom need that. But the fact that you're so ingrained in love with this girl because she's selling you a dream, you're gonna send her $50,000 for that year. Ooh. Guys are doing. I mean, I've been in this game long enough. I've seen some of the foolishness that happens that we don't want to talk about.
Well,
and
also, it's just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. It's just people don't want to talk about that. But I'm like, okay, you want to travel, go out and enjoy yourself, but be realistic. If you're 60 years old, messing with a 25-year-old, I mean, be realistic here, man. Like, how often can you come to this city, go to their country, and build a relationship with them? If it's once a year, you cannot expect this person to be loyal to you for that once a year, 2-week trip that you're going to take for once a year. That's not realistic. So, and that's the thing. Is like, I want to prep guys emotionally and physically as well as financially. Like, are you able to do this? If you are looking for love overseas, it's going to cost you. Trust me, it's more expensive to maintain a long-distance relationship, an active long-distance relationship where you're constantly traveling back and forth than having a relationship in the States.
Right. Great point. And Austin Holloman just made a video about that today. He was like, if you go over there, he was like, don't get in a relationship when you first go overseas because your ass is going to get finessed or green carded. Like, these women can smell it on you. And it's more rare than it is not, so because a lot of us don't have the lifestyle to sustain that. I mean, and like you just said, the financial piece of it is very exorbitant. So, just see it for what it is. And, if it happens, it happens. But don't go over there talking about Colombian women are so traditional off the bat. And I'm just going to go over there and find a wife. It's like, man, your ass is going to get played because there's a lot of bullshit mixed in with those women,
Agree.
I think the financial aspect is critical because
it is.
That's literally what I spent the last 3 years since I got my passport, since I came back from California. I always call it Cali, but now I have to switch it up and realize Cali they don't like. So when I came back from California last year, I spent the whole year, a year, just working on the finances and developing the skills and learning new skills in order to be in a position where I can make enough money, because it's such an extraordinary. I mean, I think we see it like on YouTube from time to time or certain groups, and we think in our minds it's normal, but in reality, like I think you said it earlier, it's not. It's completely abnormal, and the majority of men not only not have the extra income to go outside the state, even if they outside the country, even if they do get vacation time, but there's even a rarer few men who can remotely do it, and if it's even fewer men who's making, let's say, $250,000 a year remotely doing it. So it's like levels to it. It's those who are going there for a weekend. There's those who are going there for a week, maybe 2 weeks out the year because they're vacation time. And you got the guys who make maybe $30-some thousand. They can do well. They won't be able to live a luxurious lifestyle, but they do okay. Then you have the guys who are in the six-figure area. That's like unbelievably rare. Then you talk about black men on top of that. So the finances is what I had to work on the most, because that is the most difficult to crack, because just like Marty said earlier, Salesforce, you got the CEO talking about cutting back on remote work. I don't think they're going to go as far as cutting them back completely. I think they're going to do a hybrid. I don't think they can go all the way back to just everyone goes to the office, but they're probably going to do a hybrid type of deal where it still limits you, but you can kind of go locally or even regionally. You might be able to go to Colombia for 2 or 3 days, but you'll be forced to come back for the hybrid situation. But it's the finances part, man. That's the toughest one. And I noticed a lot of people get into the cloud and IT sector. It's not the only one. I mean, me personally, I got into Forex, but that doesn't mean it's any easier than get into cloud. It's a lot less labor intensive, but there's also a lot more mistakes involved. So that's the trade-off I had to make, is sacrificing the salary for a non-guaranteed income and just based on profit margins. So it's very difficult in different ways, but it's most men just can't crack that. Most men don't want to, they can't do it. They can't, it's a barrier to that. So it's not just like a job and going overseas. It's how hard are you willing to work to free yourself first financially so that you can afford to go overseas.
Well, that's the key, Joseph. How many of us are willing to do the prep work and get ourselves to a level to be able to transfer over to another economy? And many of us are trying to skip the cart for the horse. You know, it's just like, no, brothers, you got it. It's steps to this. Just like Kano was talking about, getting the right certifications and education and looking at the future landscape and understanding that, and where do I fit in, where are the opportunities, where are the risks. And most of us are just thinking about, oh, we just want to go see some chicks in the DR twerk and shit. And it's like, nah, man, there's
Well, if that's the goal, then it'll work. The 2-3 days, a weekend, maybe the 5 days, that's fine for those people. For me, I guess I'm leaning more towards Kanal's thought, in that I want the full, I want to go for the full experience. I want to see I want to go. I love certain beaches and different, for example, the beaches. You say beach is a beach anywhere, but it's not true, because I went to Florida Beach and I went to California Beach, and they were drastically different. And I like them differently even though it's a beach, it's different. So it's like, I want to experience more of that. I want to go to zip lines. I want to see the Christ the Redeemer. I don't want to just see it on YouTube. I want to see all these different things. So that's my purpose of doing it. But for me to do that, I have to give my resources to that point before, I guess most guys, if their goal is to just go and get a feminine woman for a weekend, because we all need it. To be honest, we all need that dose of feminine energy that is lacking in the States. So I don't fault them for doing that. But then there's that level where it's like, for me and Kanal and you, Marty, our goal is, well, that's going to come with the territory, but to strive for something more, it's going to take a lot more effort, a lot more work to free yourself completely so you can uproot yourself and go wherever you want to go. But that takes a lot of financial resources. For most guys, they don't want to do that. For most guys, they're not like us. They don't want to, do the adventure. They don't want to go to Chiang Rai. They want to go to Pattaya. They want to go to Rio, and a specific part in Rio. They want to go to a specific part in Colombia. So where all the other people are familiar, because they have other people who can speak like them, who can show them around. They want that familiarity. They want to get in, get out, get that dose of femininity, and come back home. go through the process again, get depressed, and go back out. But for us, we want to take it to the next level. It takes a higher degree of effort than those guys who are wanting to get their dose of energy, come back, dose of energy, come back, dose of energy, come back. So, but we want our batteries to be charged up, continuously versus charged up and drained, charged up and drained. But to get to that point requires a lot more effort on our part, and a lot of men don't do that.
Yeah, it does, and like a lot of people don't know, I have an apartment here in Dominican Republic, fully furnished, which I furnished myself. I spent about $4,000 of my own money to furnish my own apartment. I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a large balcony. When I come here, I have my own place. If I choose the Airbnb, it's somewhere on the other side of the Dominican Republic. Right now I'm working on, purchasing a car where I could have a car. I'm tired of using these damn taxi drivers. So I put myself in that position to do that. I grind, I work, I save, I make sure, my investments are in the right proper places. And I come here and just, set the land for it. But the thing is, a lot of guys are not willing to do that. People think that there's a shortcut to do what I do. And it's amazing how when someone asks me, hey, can I do what you do? It's like, well, yes, but are you willing to put in the work? And a lot of guys are not willing to put in the work.
What sacrifices are you willing to make, buddy? Because if I tell people don't do what I do, like even though I'm literally 2 months away from doing it, I say, well, are you willing to go through about a year or two of the hell, the depression, the fighting, the wanting to quit multiple times and then keep going? You really want to go through that? You want the gray hairs? You want to do all that? The sleepless nights, the endless studies to get to this point where now you reach the level of competency in whatever skill or field that you want to master in, so you can have enough money. You really want to go through all that? No, sir. Keep your job, do your 2-week vacation, and just call it a day. Because it's probably going to kill you trying to do what I did to get there. But then I also don't have any kids and I don't have a girl, so I could put all my energy into it.
Yes.
Some of these guys got all these responsibilities. I'm like, dude, the resources you got to pour into it, you're probably going to lose thousands initially. You're probably going to spend some money that you didn't have no business spending. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to fall on your ass a lot, and then you're going to hit that part where it's like, damn, I'm actually making money now. But you don't even know sometimes when that may happen. So are you willing to go through that? Get yourself a job and just do the weekend warrior type of deal. And I'm not mad at it. I think there's a market for it.
And again, I'm not against being a weekend warrior. At times I am a weekend warrior, depending on the stress level. If I feel like, you know what, I need to disappear for the next 3 days, I'm going to go somewhere and disappear. And I'll be that weekend warrior. However, I know my expectations as a weekend warrior is to get in, have a great time, and come back home. The problem is a lot of people make the weekend warrior their life, and It's not realistic and it's not sustainable. There's a lot of people who become expats. They become broke as an expat. Like, how do you become broke in a poor country? They brought the American lifestyle with them. They continue to live as a tourist versus living as an expat. And that's the thing. People don't know when to turn off and turn off. Just because I'm in Dominican Republic doesn't mean that I can't study. Doesn't mean that I can't do interviews. Doesn't mean that I can't create new content. I mean, each day I wake up, I have a choice. I can either continue to do what I do in the States, work on myself, or I could just be lazy, go to the bar, drink some beers, and talk shit with other dudes. I have a choice.
Yeah, I think, goals do change. Like, 'cause when I started traveling overseas, I was actually married at the time. So, I was on a different kind of plan, because I always like history and culture and stuff. So, and my ex-wife likes that stuff too. So, like, we would go check out different museums and stuff and sites, and that was cool. And then after my divorce, it was like, my agenda changed. I needed to blow off some steam and, check out some new chicks and stuff. And, kind of different agenda. But now it's like I'm kind of getting back to my old motivation, which is learning about new cultures. But also, I have kind of a new motivation, which is can I retire in these certain places? So I'm kind of looking around everywhere I go, like asking the question, can I actually live here? And I think when I was in Portugal and Spain, like, this summer, it was like I was really asking myself that question, and I was comparing like everything from like the price of food to housing and all that stuff, just quality of life. food, dining, just everything, weather, and so I'm kind of looking towards the future and trying to answer some of those questions and really find out, like, over the next probably 8 to 10 years, how could I realistically get over this? So, and I'm hoping. See, I think what's going on with the Black passport community, at least online, is if we were an organization, we probably need to be rebranded, man. Because I think some of these ideas are so fucking toxic and detrimental to the overall progress and direction of where we're trying to go as a group. I think those parts are damn near cancerous, man. They either need to be like quieted down a little bit or cut out because it's just it's making us all look bad. Just some of the people speaking don't know what they're talking about. They're not that worldly. Um, I mean, black men, we have a hard enough image problem as it is, just based on the American propaganda that's put out there. And I just feel like, you look at the DR, how, they got certain new laws in place in Sisu and places like that. They don't want you filming the women. And it's like, it's just shit like that, man. Like, and all these countries could turn like that, over time, as resentment builds up. So we got to be very careful how we move, man. And I don't want to be one of the hurt, and I kind of like to be the kind of like the invisible man and like a secret agent in this country. I don't even want people to know where I'm coming from. I don't even want other Americans half the time to know that I'm American. You know what I'm saying? Blow up my spot, man. Especially if they act stupid.
Some people like to move incognito. Some people like to move little loud. I think it just depends on the person or personality. I think, but how they move loudly, those people, which are the minority of those who travel outside the country, obviously they get the most attention and they get the most pushback. I think it's a double-edged sword. I think on one hand, Marty, you're absolutely right that there is causing some some detrimental effects against the movement itself. And then you got, on the other hand, you got a lot of guys going like, "Oh, I never thought of that before." You got a lot of younger guys who, I mean, I looked at Charles Tyler as the first person because when I first came across Colombia, I was like, "Wait a second." That was in Florida. I was like, is this normal? I didn't even know women could be like that. So I came across Charles Tyler, and he was like, boom, boom, boom. He's pumping it up. To me, he was the originator of it, or at least at the very beginning stages of it. So we kind of need guys like that who are loud, but I think they should be more disciplined. I think the problem is that you have a lot less older men like Charles Taylor who are loud, who knows how to discipline themselves, versus a lot of younger guys who are loud, who are just kind of like all over the place, like a shotgun blast. So they're saying anything and everything to get unwanted attention, and that's bringing a lot of negative attention to the forefront. But also, it's also inspiring a lot of younger guys to look and go and think about, their relationships with dealing with women here in the States and the compare and contrast. So on one hand, it's detrimental. On the other hand, it's beneficial. So it's kind of like you got to take, you got to kind of take it both, at least for the time being. You don't want to take both of it, but it's like, man, it's helping, but it's also because it's the attention. I think a lot of the negative attention is the reason why it's getting so popular today. It's kind of like negative. Any publicity is good publicity. It's sort of like that.
Again, I have no issues with guys claiming passport bros or these other categories that they want to put themselves into. But why put yourself into a category? It's just, as a black man, we're constantly putting ourselves into categories. And it's just like, you know what? First it was the high value, then passport bros and this and that, whatever. Listen, just be a good man. Live your best life. That's it, man. For me, I could care less about being part of any group or any movement. If I can encourage someone to live a better life, then yes, I'll do that. But I don't need to be pigeonholed into a category, especially a category that I've been doing way before that I even started as of last year. So again,
the difference though, you not being in that category because you've been doing it for so long, you got to a point where it's kind of like with age, right? I'm 34. Yes. I know you're older than me. It's like you start to see a different perspective on life. where it's like, oh, I don't need a validation from this group of people, validation from this group of people. But when you was a teenager, you absolutely, or at least most guys, you relied on it. So it's like a lot of guys who are coming in and they're like the teenagers of traveling. So they need that sort of validation, that sense of belonging someplace outside of this America. So once they get that, I feel like a lot of them, they get into these groups and then naturally start to branch out on their own. At least that's the hope, right? That's not always the case. That's the goal.
You know what, Joseph, you're totally right. You're right. I'm thinking as a 45-year-old who's traveled for 17
years.
Yeah. So my outlook is a lot different than someone who's in their 20s just finding himself. So you're right. You know what? You're totally right. You're totally right.
And I'm going to make a controversial statement here because I know probably we have folks who come over from the manosphere originally, but I got to tell you, man, black women out-travel black men by far. And they're a lot more organized about how they do it and a lot more quiet. And there's some things we can learn from our sisters, our counterparts, man, because they're not under one banner. You know what I'm saying? They got like 20 different travel groups and they all do what they feel is best for their lives. You know, they're in South Africa, they're in China, they're in Russia. Now, granted, they do different types of vacations than we do. They're probably a lot more
resorts, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Resorts, cruises,
like safety spaces,
tour groups.
Women.
Yeah, because they got to worry about safety. Like men are more adventurous. Yeah, I don't care about that either. I mean, sometimes I do like resorts. It just depends on the scenario. Like if I'm with a chick and I don't want to have to worry about food costs and all that shit, I'll do a resort all inclusive. But that being said, man, I mean, I think maybe we can learn some things from how they move. I'm not saying be exactly like them, but I mean, I'm one of those type of people. I pick up ideas from even my own enemies. You know what I'm saying? If it's the best practice and it works. But I just think, man, maybe just turn down the volume a little bit on all these just claiming groups and movements and shit. It's just like, because we're all too different, man. You know, how about just being a dope ass dude, and wherever you go, you'll have money and you will get women. It doesn't have to be so pronounced. You know what I'm saying?
Like for me, there are a few YouTubers that I admire how they move. One of them is Passport Heavy.
Yes.
I've been following Passport Heavy quite some time, and I love how the way he moves. You should look into him, Passport Heavy.
He's good. I like his
I like how he just traveled, the way he informs everyone how to travel and how to do certain things. Another person's Ace Live.
Yep.
Man, his smile is so. I love to see a black man smile because I was raised in a culture in Miami that you don't smile, and now I'm smiling every day. When I'm overseas, people constantly compliment me, "Man, you have a nice smile," because I wasn't smiling at one point. One point, dude, I look at some of my old pictures in my 20s and my teens. I never smiled. I'm like, what the hell? What was wrong with me? And it's just like now, dude, I'm smiling, cheesing left and right. And it's just like with Ace Live, he's having fun. It's like he's not taking himself serious, but yet he's still providing great content. And another person that I becoming a fan of is Barbaro TV. Another guy's in his 50s, he's doing his thing, and it's like he's having a good time. But yet he tell you he speaks on the real truth. And it's just like, guys, traveling is fun, but it's not as easy as everyone think it is, man. It's a process to it. And look, right before I went to Dominican Republic, I was at the airport for 2 days. I spent over $1,000 on new tickets. Dude, I was pissed off. I spent $1,000 of new tickets. Flights were canceled. I had to book another ticket out of my own, like a last minute ticket. You know how expensive to purchase a ticket at the counter for a flight for the next day? You're going to spend about $500, $600, $700 easy.
I don't even want to hear it, man. At least you had the money to get it. I had to sleep in the airport for a day on the chair. I slept in the bathroom. You saw The Pursuit of Happiness? That was me. That scene with Will Smith was like trying to keep. Well, I swear to goodness, I'm in the airport bathroom because I missed my flight. I literally watched my flight take off. I'm running to it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm late. Dealing with TSA. I didn't know nothing about global entry and all this other stuff.
Oh,
I'm just like, First time like really traveling like that, just in the States. I'm like, oh my God, I missed it. And I get there and I'm thinking I made it. And I just see the plane go taking off the runway. I was like, oh shit. So I'm thinking like, well, can I just get a ticket? Like, yeah, you're gonna have to pay extra. I'm like, shit, I don't got that kind of money. So I had to sleep in the airport for a whole day. And it just got like, it was the oddest thing. And I got no sleep because there was nowhere to sleep at. I couldn't sleep on the floor. And then when I kept getting disturbed, I had to go inside the bathroom. People knocking on the doom, doom, doom. Hello, is anybody in here? A Spanish guy. Hello, SA, is somebody? So it's like, at least you had the money to get yourself another ticket. I had to script and save and scraggle. Man, so yeah, your story, my story, like that's just going to the place. Do people really want to deal with that? It comes with the territory. Even if you got the money to take care of the problem, you're still going to run into problems.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. It's just like, and that's the process, as you said before, that people don't see when it comes to traveling. They don't see the headaches that you have when a flight is canceled or delayed for the next 12 hours. They don't see when things are done to you when you booking a ticket or when you miss a flight or some of the bullshit with at the hotel or Airbnb. The Airbnb that you booked is not what you thought it was. It's completely different. So, guys, I mean, it's fun to hear, to get your passport and travel. But, guys, be prepared for a lot of bullshit. Be prepared to understand the process because, again, there's going to be some days, such as Joseph mentioned, you're going to sleep in the bathroom. You're going to sleep at that damn airport. You're going to sit there and be stuck. And I remember there was a time where...
You laugh, you get mad. It's going to be one of the two. I laughed. I was like, this is going to be something. This is going to be a funny story to tell my kids one day. It was just that bad. But you got to actually enjoy that you got to enjoy the anticipation. Not that you expect things to go bad, but sometimes you can't even foresee when things just go left. And it's like you have to just problem solve right there. A lot of people, they don't want to do that. They just want the sunshine. They want the women. They want all that. It's like, but even when you're in another country, I was just in different states and I was dealing with issues, but I enjoyed it. So it takes a special kind of person to enjoy the problems and the challenges that come along with the journey and the destination that comes with it. If you don't like it, man,
even worse
just go
than
get
that. Sorry. I don't want to be too macabre, but even worse than that. I mean, what if something happens to you while you're overseas? I mean, Charles Tyler, they have to take up a collection to get his body back to the States. I mean, do you really want your kids to have to be dealing with all that? You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, we cannot be fanciful about this. We got to think like men and actually plan and position ourselves where if emergencies come up, we can be not a burden on somebody else, and we can be accounted for, and we have contingency plans and stuff. Like, we're just telling brothers to get their passport and just show up. It's like, dude, some of these brothers might be check to check. I mean, they ain't got no business traveling.
I'll tell you this, guys. I had several guys within our group reached out to me with asking for help financially because they made poor decisions while overseas, and I had to decline.
Ooh.
I had to like, dude, I can't help you with that. You need to call your mom, you need to call your dad, your sister, your brother, so they can help you out with that. Because again, you should have planned accordingly. And again, this is not a sexy topic, guys. You got to plan for your travels. You got to make sure you have enough money to cover your expenses and also get that fucking insurance, man. Stop being cheap and get the insurance because guess what? You may not come back home, but guess what? You have money set aside that your insurance could actually take care of that for you. This past year, we had a good friend of mine. He passed away due to a heart attack in Brazil. They didn't find his body until 3 days later. And when they found his body, they had no one. He had no next of kin to contact. So we had to raise money to find a burial ground in Rio to bury him there in Rio because no one couldn't claim him.
That's crazy.
So to be fair, I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have mind being buried in Rio because if he went to Rio, a lot of people go there to get away. I don't think he would have minded. If I was being buried in Rio, like I'm going to Rio, and that was the last time I was going to be. Hey, I'm cool with that. Me personally speaking.
I understand, but it was a headache to try to find his family member where we couldn't find a family member. Then we had to raise the funds to bury him. It's like, it's just sometimes it's just better to prepare. Like for me, whenever I'm flying, like even though I'm here in Dominican Republic for 1 month, I purchased insurance for 1 month. I purchased a $1 million policy. So if anything would happen to me, guess what? My sons will be taken care of.
Dude, when I took my family down to the DR, we went to Punta Cana years ago, about 2013 or something like that. And my son had like hit his head on the side of one of the stairs in the room we were staying. You know how they got those slippery ass floors and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, he had a little bruise, but and it was bleeding a little bit. But he, you know, they were going to charge like $800 cash just to get seen by the doctor because we didn't have health insurance there. Obviously, it was just like to see a private doctor. I mean, just little stuff like that, man. Like you just never know, and I don't know if these guys are really thinking about. Okay, yes, I'm healthy today when I get off the plane, but anything can happen, man. I mean, I'll tell you this. When first time I went to Colombia, I think it was like the next day, we were driving from Cartagena to Barranquilla because we were going to that carnival down there.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know that, you know, certain days where people from certain cities can go into Barranquilla. We didn't know about that law. So we got pulled over by the highway patrol, the motorcycle cops. And we had to bribe them just not to go to jail. We had to have cash on us, damn near in Barranquilla, just not to go to jail. It's just we never planned for that. You know, yeah, because we weren't supposed to be on the road. They were going to tow our car and basically like put us in jail for like a night. So it was crazy, man.
Are dudes willing to go through that? What you just went through? Are they going to appreciate that, like looking down the road, like, okay, I know what not to do next time, or is it going to discourage them from? I think it does. I think that's why they do the short stays and short visits and go back to what's comfortable in the States or wherever they're from originally, because this is the reality of it, right? It's more than just women. It's more, and I know that just going across the states, like it's like I didn't do it for the women. I was just doing it just because I was just curious as to how it would turn out. But yeah, it's like, damn, this is not the glamorous life. You know, it's great when you get there. It feels victorious when you arrive to wherever you get to. It's like, yes, and then it's like, okay, what adventure am I going to run into now? That adventure could be a very good, positive experience or a negative experience.
Well, I just want to say what's up to Razor Ray. He's another popular YouTuber, guys. If you guys haven't subscribed to him, make sure you subscribe to him. Just seeing his name popped up. This is back in 2017. I went to Medellin, Colombia. I met these guys at the airport. These white boys, and we had a good time. We laughed. We actually ended up meeting up in Pacajeras. We went to a place called Gusto's. We had a few shots, and we kind of went our separate ways. 3 days forward, I met these same guys. I met one of them, and I said, "Hey, what happened to you guys? I haven't seen you guys for the past 3 days." Yes, because we were drugged and robbed. These 3 guys that I had met at the airport in Fort Lauderdale were drugged and robbed that same night, where they spent 2 days in the hospital. They were scoping me. And that was my first time being exposed to smoking me, because due to one of the guys that I met walking at the mall, he was trying to buy some clothes because they literally cleaned them out. He spent 2 days at the hospital because they were drugged. And these guys did not purchase medical insurance, nothing. So they had to pay everything out of cash. They had to get money wired to them from their family. And lucky for them, they survived. We're hearing a lot more drug cases happen in Colombia that guys are not surviving. And again, you're going to Colombia, to Medellin, thinking that you're going to have a great time and go out there, enjoy yourself, and have fun with the ladies, whatever. But next you know, you're drugged. Guys, I was exposed to spoken me back in 2017 through these guys getting drugged. And that's when I knew, like, hey, listen, guys, be careful. Just don't show up. Understand where you're going, understand where you're staying, and guys, make sure wherever you're staying has security. But if you got there on the cheap trying to save $1 so you can spend that dollar elsewhere, just be mindful of that. But again, guys, you just never know when you're traveling. You get on this plane thinking they're going to go out and have a great time. You may not come back home.
Yeah, and
Do you
be
think that's?
mindful.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna
No,
say
I'm sorry.
be mindful of who you're around too, because I had a buddy who went to Medellin, and he met up with some other brothers that he met online through one of these groups, and you know, he wound up hanging out with one of the dudes who was like, "Yo, let's go over to the spot in El Centro in Medellin. Go over there, go through the door like some place without really windows, and it's like girls in there who look like they're like 13 or 14, bro." And my boy was like, "Man, what the hell? Where you taking me, man?" He's like, "Oh man, my bad, man, my bad." This is American dude. So he's like, "I know this other spot, man. It's better." They go there,
What?
same shit, dude. Same demographic. Dude was like, "Man, I'm out, yo." You know what I'm saying? And it's like you hang with some weirdos like that, you could fool around and get hemmed up. You get locked up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, do you have money for lawyers? Do you have contacts with the
Mm,
consulate? You know, do you have all this shit lined up? And
mm,
it's like travel is not always 100%. And if you're green about stuff and you go places, you've been partying hard, you've been drinking a lot, you kind of, you know, not you kind of off your square. You know, you're not really thinking rationally through everything. It could turn into a nightmare, man. And so you got to
mm.
be prepared, man, for everything, mentally, financially. So
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hear this talked about. I don't hear this talked about often. And a lot of, they always talk about the glamorous side of traveling, the reasons why you should go, but they never talk like this. I mean, obviously we know why. That's why they have channels that's big and that's popular and has a lot of subscribers because they avoid topics like this.
Yeah,
This is,
of course, and that's something that I position my channel to be. I wanted to share the truth that what really goes on. You got other channels such as Razor Ray. You have No Excuse Entertainment that talks about the truth. Soul Travel ID, or ID. These guys speak the truth. These guys are in the country. They'll tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. The problem is, a lot of people don't want to hear the ugly. They just want to hear about the good, the partying, getting lit and having a good time. But they don't hear when guys getting drugged. They don't hear guys getting robbed, guys getting killed, getting murdered, getting heart attacks by overdosing. They don't hear about those things. I do because I've been doing it for so
mm,
long. But the thing is, they don't want to talk about it because that's not going to get them the views and subscribers that they want.
and also the consultations. You know, you hear these same guys. They don't want to tell you the risk and the dangers. They're going to tell you, yeah, still keep coming to Colombia. You'll find your wife here. You know, meanwhile, motherfuckers getting scopamine left and right. You know, but they're going to say, you know what? Well, that could happen in Thailand too. You know, we found two people got pickpocketed in Phuket. You know, it's dangerous there. It's just all this bullshit, man. And it's like, you know, and these young guys are getting so much bad information that it's definitely necessary for a channel like Canoles where you can get the ins and the outs and you can decide for yourself, are you built for this, you know?
Yep. Yep. So again, guys, I don't want this to be a Debbie Downer. Traveling is fun. Traveling is amazing. You can learn a lot, but just be mindful. Put yourself in a position where you can actually do a lot more than what you originally planned. Make sure home is taken care of. Don't be quick to leave home where you got a lot of shit back home that you're trying to run away from.
yeah.
And that's the thing. That's why I try to tell guys, like, listen, work on yourself, work on your health. If you're going through some emotional issues or baggage from a previous relationship, work on that. Because just trust me, you going overseas and dating a foreign woman and you bring that same baggage with you, you're gonna get the same results. It is what it is.
Mm,
If we're dealing with depression as Black men, we don't want to talk about depression because we're Superman. We don't have emotions. But a lot of us are dealing with depression. We have our different vices to help us cope with our depression.
mm,
And it's just like, you know what, you run away from the problem because again, a lot of us are still committing suicide. A lot of us are drinking our problems away or sexing our problem away, catching all type of STDs. They don't want to talk about that
mm.
either.
Oh,
And it's just like, yeah, trust me. Look, I've been in this game long enough. I've heard it all. And
Like, why do you want to have sex with that many women? And like, where do you even have the time and the energy to do that? Like, I can't even. I don't know. Maybe just because I haven't really had issues with that with Americans. It's like I turn them away. So it's like maybe those who don't get it as much, so then they go crazy, and it's like, what? How do you like a different like 2-3 girls a day? Like how? Like, did you have a job or something, money to make, something else to do other than?
I just think a lot of these guys are miserable, and they're trying to relive their 20s, which probably weren't even that good. And you hear about some of these guys. I mean, they're like in their 50s and 60s, and are like, that's all they're about when they travel is like being a serial monger, man. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, but by that stage, you should have already had an abundance of sex to where you can like focus on hobbies and shit or something. Learn a second language, like take up gardening or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Or job 5K or something, man. Like it can't just be about traveling all the world for women, man. I don't understand that, dude. Like it's got to be balanced with everything, man.
And again, guys, whatever your reason why you travel, that's your reason. But just be mindful, there are consequences on the type of lifestyle you're trying to live overseas.
I'm transparent. I'll say I'll go for the women. I'm like, that's what motivated me to even think about going outside the country, is dealing with a Colombian and a Venezuelan woman. So that's what even sparked my ideas of wanting to go. It was like, I mean, let's be honest, right? We don't go to clubs for the women. We go, I don't know, not one man who went to an all men's club. It just doesn't happen unless you're like of that particular persuasion. But for the most part, if you go to a beach, you're kind of secretly expecting to see some nice women, even if you're not like trying to get whatever. You just want to see, is there something about them being there? They just make whatever is there, they make it that much better. So if the women are just in this country and the motivation to go to that country, cool. It's when you overindulge in the ice cream and you get diabetes, then that's a problem.
That's really what I'm talking about. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. It's not. I'm not saying don't. Every man wants to be around a place where there's an abundance of fine, feminine women. Like that goes without saying. But it's like, how could I say it? It's just really like when you act too damn thirsty about the shit, man. And I've seen it on several videos. It's like old dudes just acting like they never seen a fine one. It's just like, come on, dude. Like, for one, your corny ass 1980 pickup lines ain't gonna work on some Thai woman, unless it's a financial thing. It's just like, dude, she sees who you are. You ain't all that. You're overweight, fat, and it's like you're corny, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's just like, brothers, we just got to be realistic, man. It's just.
I think some of them know it though. I think some of them actually. I've seen like 1 or 2 of those older men in their 60s, 70s, and they know that they're not the young whippersnappers. They know they're not in their 30s or 40s no more, and they know that I'm getting the kind of woman here that I wasn't able to get in the States. But obviously, she's not just with me because of my looks, right? I have a certain level of wealth. I'm retired. I'm here. It's expensive. So the woman already did the math in her head. He knows she did the math in her head. So I don't think a lot of these older men are going there naively. Like I saw this one video, this guy who bought this woman a $25,000 diamond ring in the Philippines, and he's like in his 80s, and he said on camera, he said, "Listen, I know what the game is." He said, but even with my willingness to do this, he said she's giving me so much more than the $25,000 ring I gave her, and that's that youthful, feminine, loving, caring, nurturing energy that I can't get back at home because they're telling me I have to settle with a 60-year-old woman. Like I still, in my 80s, I still want a young woman, and they're willing to do that for me.
But I'm talking about the cats that are like 60 that are trying to compete with you in the club. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the way you do it, man. Like, and they be getting mad that you get more women than them. I'm like, dude, Joseph, like the Rock of Hell, he's 30 years younger. He's supposed to, motherfucker.
You know what? When I was in Thailand, I went to Pattaya, and while walking through Pattaya, Walking Street, where I saw a lot of older guy, and I ran into this one older guy, and we were talking. He's like, "Listen, man, I know, like it's similar to what Joseph said. Like he knew what the game was, but guess what? He was happy with it."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, like, and we were like, we're in the strip club in Patia, looking, and he's like, "Listen, man, all these guys here are smiling. They enjoying themselves. If this is what they want, let them enjoy it. Because trust me, they're not getting it whatever the country that they're from. And most of the guys we were meeting were from Europe, from Australia.
Oh.
I rarely ran into an American. Most of the guys that I met in Thailand were from Europe and Australia. And they were all telling me the same exact thing. It's like, listen, man, look, I know what it is. I'm here to have a good time and enjoy it. And I have to respect that. It's like, yeah, I respect that. So at the end of the day, if you know what you want and this is the lifestyle you want to live your best life. Live your best life, man. And just understand, like, hey, everything costs. But when he told me that, I totally got it. And similar to what Joseph just said, I totally get it. I totally get it, man. It's just like, you know what? If this is your last leg of life, enjoy it in whatever capacity you want to enjoy it. If it means, you gotta, be pushed around in a wheelchair and you smiling, hey, I'm happy for you.
I mean, in fact, the woman who's willing to do that, even if you suspect she's faking it, it's like at least she's a good fake, right? Like here in America, they're not gonna mess their tongue. They're gonna tell you that your old ass farted in front of your face and treat you like shit in front of your face. Like they're not gonna even like play the game. They're not gonna play the role of a film. So the fact that they have to travel outside and get that, and they're happy, and they feel like they can retire there and be peaceful and live their lives. How many older men? Most older men I see, they're in retirement homes and they're miserable. Like if you go to any retirement home in the States, they're like, "What have I done with my life?" Like you just see the life is not there in their eyes anymore. But when I look at some of the videos I've seen of these older men and these different, it's like that youthful, it's like that boyish energy. You can see it in their eyes. It came out because that woman or those women, those youthful, they bring it out of all of us. So that's where we go. It's not even so much the sex. I can't even imagine. It's just the energy.
It's the energy and the companionship because, I'm not afraid to admit when I was going through my divorce and I was going through my issues, dude, all I wanted was someone I could sit down and talk to. It wasn't about the sex or whatever. It was just like, hey, you know what? I've been doing this court battle for over a year. I kind of went into monk mode where I just focus on working court cases. And it's just like, I traveled, it was just like, yo, sometimes I just want to have a pretty girl right here in front of me, enjoy a nice drink, man. That's cool. And it was like that in the States. Like I go to a strip club, man, and sit down and enjoy what's in front of me and I head back home. Sometimes we need that. It's that small escape from whatever issues that we're going through. It's nothing wrong for you to go out and seek that. Nothing wrong with that. And again, a lot of us are dealing with a lot of issues that, that we're fighting and grinding every day. And if you need to take that break, go ahead and take that break, man. I want you to take that break. It's better you take that break than you doing something harmful to yourself.
Yeah. And that's what I think a lot of men, they're doing that harm to themselves, including self-deletion, because they're not, it's the constant rejection, the constant games, and they just confused about like, wait, I can't get the affection that I know I need as a man, but is there something wrong with me? I feel broken. And they don't even know about traveling outside the country. And if they do know, they don't have the means to go outside and actually get what should be natural between man and woman, because it's something unnatural here. And I didn't even know there was a difference until I came across a Colombian. It was a Venezuelan in Florida, Fort Myers. So just the opposite side of Miami where you're from. Mm-hmm. I was like, I could not, it was a barber. I didn't know I needed a haircut right away. I was going in for a surgery. And this is my first time running into an uniform woman anywhere because I'm from Detroit. So we don't see a lot of, just see a lot of black, the the demographic that we have here. So I didn't even know what to expect. I'm going in thinking I'm getting a haircut by a dude. Oh yeah, that's your barber right there. Who? Like, no, I think you got me mistaken for something. No, that's her right there. Like you got female barbers. I didn't even know. You haven't got that in Detroit. So I said, okay, man. Like I'm like skeptical. I'm like shaking in my boots. And she just kind of, the first thing she did was put her arms on my shoulder and start massaging my shoulder. I said, what the hell kind of haircut am I going to get? She just started massaging my shoulders like she just knew. She's like, you're tense with that little Venezuelan accent. Then she started whispering in my ear, like flirting with me. And then she took the haircut and she took the clippers and just started lining me up I had the best haircut I've ever had in my life, better than any man. And then she started massaging my head. She started shampooing my head. And then I'm like in a twilight zone. This went on for about 2 hours. I'm like, I didn't even want the haircut to end. I'm like, damn, it's over. She's like, yep, that's it. Time's up. And I just looked at her. I said, I reached into my pocket, so pull out more money. I was gonna give her triple what I was gonna pay her. I was like, okay, 20, here's 60. She looked at me like I was crazy. She said, no. You keep. Just give me a hug. I said, what? She said, just give me a hug. Give me a hug. I just love men. I just love black. I'm like, what the? And everyone in the barbershop was laughing. The guys just looking like, here we go again. Like this is normal. I'm like, what is this? So we need that energy. And it's that energy. It's that moment right there, that 2-hour haircut. That's what made me want to go out and say, if all women are like this in her country, that she said, you got to go to Venezuela, If they're like that, then it's worth doing whatever I got to do to get around just that energy. I don't need to have sex with every single one of them. I can't. Physically, I can't do it. But just that energy, if I can be around that, then there's a price to pay for that. Unfortunately, it's not here in America. So you're going to have to work your ass off and grind in a lot of cases and go through a lot of failure to figure out your finances so you can then get over there and do it at least comfortably. If not luxuriously, you can do it comfortably and you can stay there. You don't have to have that. I've seen stories of guys having that long plane ride home, coming from Colombia or Brazil, how they cry on the planes. I'm like, I don't want that to be me. I said, I don't want to get there for a week and then be like, oh, I'm having a great time. Like, damn, I done ran out of money. I got to go back and make money and grind. Like, no, I got to be able to figure out how to make this shit work remotely. However way I got to do it. And that's a tough one. That's the barrier that a lot of guys can't go past. So they end up not having that experience that I was lucky enough to have by accident. And I was almost not going to get my hair cut because she was I'm like, women don't do barber. I didn't know they even cut hair, man's hair. So they don't get that energy. And so they start doing things to themselves and they start doing things to other people. And that's why you see a lot of them taking the lives of themselves and those around them. And they have these mass. I strongly believe it. I don't think a lot of people talk about it, but I believe that that's why they're having a lot of these anger issues with men, because we need that balance from women. And when the women are as masculine as we are, and we don't have that balance, now you just become violent for no reason. But the right feminine woman, she just calms your nerves like she did me in that barber seat chair. I was already tense because I'm like, there's a woman cutting my hair. And the moment she put her hands on my shoulder and start massaging my back, I'm like, it just did something to me. And that lack of that here in America, it's just, even for me, as someone who has no issue with even talking to women, they come up to me. They come at me masculine. They come up real strong. Are you going to get my number or what? Come on. Hey, what's up? Damn, nigga, you fine. I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like, you know,
all that. American women, masculine.
Let me what you want right now. Hey, that fat Albert voice and everything going on, man. Like, it's bad. Like, and I'm like, literally, I do modeling. I'm like the quintessence. I'm like exactly what the women are looking for. I see it in their eyes, and they like. But even I turn them away because the energy is off. I'm like, dude, like, I feel like I'm talking to one of my niggas. Like, I can't do it. Like, are you my nigga or you my bitch? Like, which one you gonna be? Who are you to me? I can't even tell because the energy, they look like women, right? They real pretty, they dialed up and all this other stuff. But then the energy, it's like it comes at me the way I'm talking to y'all is how they come at me. But it's like, wait a second. I'm not even attracted to that. But it's like, you're pretty, but I'm supposed to, like, what's going on here? So then I came across the Colombia. She was just like complete opposite. Yeah. Soft, very. She didn't know how to speak English. I didn't understand one word she said, but I understood her the entire time.
You understood her.
I can't explain it any other way than that. Is that it's like it was like a secret language. She was barely speaking. She just knew Giselle. She said my name right, and she said haircut. Like, that's about it. And massage. Very simple words, but I understood her more than any woman who speaks English here in the States. And I said, what is going on here? This is what men are missing, and this is why they're having so many issues here in the States.
Well, somebody told me a long time ago, it's like dating here in America is like trying to start a battery with two positive ends, man. It's just literally like the energy is off, man. We're so deprived of feminine energy and affection, dude. Like when we get around a feminine woman from another culture, it's like we lose our damn minds. Because that's what we've been seeking our whole lives is men. You know what I'm saying? Like you're naturally attracted
But
to that output, you know?
Marty and Joseph, do you think guys are ready for that? Because we were raised in a culture where masculinity is being promoted left and right. Are men prepared for that femininity while they're overseas? Can they handle it? I had to learn how to appreciate it. I've been seeing someone for the past 7 years, and even her energy sometimes I'm not prepared for it.
Yeah.
Like I remember she picked me up at the airport. You know, she hugged me and she grabbed my hand and she kissed my hand. Dude, I felt weird. I'm
Yeah.
okay, so am I supposed to return the favor? I felt weird about it. I'm like, because when she did it, it felt so good and soft, but I was somewhat uncomfortable about it. It was just weird because it's like I'm not used to that.
Yeah, I know.
So
No, I had that same. Yeah, I wasn't ready. You know, I'm getting more used to it, and now I understand how it does feed my soul and it energizes me and makes me want to be the role of man even more than I ever have. You know, it's like because it's like, damn, you know, she's showing that vulnerability, she's showing that affection. I got to protect this. You know what I'm saying? Like she don't even have to tell me. It's like, no, this is my resource right here, and I'm defending it. You know what I'm saying? It's like because you don't get that much in America like that, man. It's just it's a competition between men and women half the time.
guys, this is a great conversation, man. I'm loving
I've
all
been
of
in
this
this
right here,
conversation
man.
with a lot of dudes. This is rare for me. Like I thought it was just me. I was like, I don't have a lot of guys who travel outside of myself. Who even did what I did was go across the states. Like a lot of guys, like 1, 2, 3 states. Like I've seen a lot of them states across the country. So it's hard for me to even have that conversation with guys just who travel to the extent that I did, and it's little compared to what y'all did. But it's kind of like I'm a lone wolf here until I go outside the country and I see more of you guys when I'm out and about. But this is rare. You know, like what Marty just said is like, I thought it was just me. Like when I wanted to give her triple, then what she like, it didn't even cross my mind. Like, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm being a trick. No, it's like the only time I ever felt like a trick is when I was being manipulated into giving money for almost nothing in return. I didn't get that energy. I didn't get that love, that affection, that nurture. I didn't get that. But it was like being manipulated to hijack my nature and my instinct to provide and protect. And then only after that did I feel tricked. But with this Colombian woman, it's like, let me get like I just want to take care of you. I just and I'm okay with that. I got the money to do it, so let me do it.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. It's like you want to, like you said, you want to protect. It's not even so much. Even if I never saw her again, it's like me showing that I appreciate her in one of the ways I know how, which is financially, or just like my energy, my presence being there, protecting her in some way, and just protecting that space for her to be who she is naturally. And that felt good. So that exchange made me feel comfortable wanting to offer my energy in return and provide that cocoon for her to blossom in, and then also financially, right? So it's like I'm looking after her and I don't have to force myself to do it. It makes you want to go out there and work harder so you can get to more of that because you know they're going to appreciate it. You know they're not going to feel entitled to it. You know they're going to cherish it. They're going to, it's just, that's just too, man, I'm just talking about, you guys have a lot more experience than I did with this. This is only 2 hours with one woman 3 years ago, y'all. And I'm talking like this. That's how much of an impression she made on me. And I've dated many American women, many. And I have to struggle to try to think of like, what story can I tell? Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah. That was okay. You know, but I can't. It's just not the same. 2 hours with one woman versus the last 20 years of dating with American women. I can't even remember the same stories. It's crazy to me. Crazy to me. She spoiled me.
I can only date women from like the Latino culture here in America, and I do date here. You know, I'm not on some damn monk mode like these dudes be talking about. I gotta have it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got a date. You know, I'm not saying I spend myself dry doing it, but I don't waste a whole lot of time looking for it. But you know, I date when I can, and it's like, yeah, I mainly only date women from Latino culture because of that very reason. It's like if they're traditional. Now many of them here are not, but you know, I go out salsa dancing sometimes and stuff, so I meet women that way, and it's a good way for me to keep up on the language too. Um, and you know, so I get my fix that way. But you definitely see the difference, man. Like culturally, these girls are not being taught to give a fuck about men half the time.
Oh,
You know, and what we actually want. It's all about what the woman wants in this country and how to make her happy. But there's never a conversation about what makes the man happy. The man just works until he gets old, retires, and dies. And he leaves his family the insurance policy and the house, and that's his life, you know. And you got to he gets put in a man cave in his 4,000 square foot house. And this is what we're supposed to look forward to.
the white picket fence to being treated as a utility.
Yeah.
Literally, that's all you're doing is paying utility bills. Like you're treated as an ATM machine, and it's like, yeah, I know I got the resources, but it's like, what am I getting? Like, why do I feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick every single time? And it's like I don't understand how I feel this way. But it's like now you feel like you're obligated. Now you're stuck because if you marry, you're really stuck. You don't got a prenup, and now you're thinking about, well, if I divorce her, she probably will take half. She probably is. So now you got all these things going through your mind, like I done fucked up, and I can't get out of it. I'm just obligated to do something I don't want to do. And then
you can't even go on a trip with your boys to the next state without having to ask for permission. And you've been married for 25, 30 fucking years. And you got to do that. I mean, it's just like, this is the American life of a male, you know, and it's just like, is that really life? Like, that's why I don't think I'll ever be married again, man. I haven't seen the light. I mean, the most I'll do is, okay, with a foreign chick, hey, you can come over here for, you know, a few months until, you know, your time is up, you know, and come hang out. We do the whole, then you go back. But it's like, I can't do the American life over here. I could probably get married if I moved to another country. It's just a different lifestyle, but not under this system, man. Hell no.
I wanted to just real quick, like you asked the question, Kano, you asked, can we handle the femininity that we haven't, and I can't even answer that question because I haven't the 2 hours. Well, let's say 3 because I didn't even talk about the Uber girl that I met, the Colombian Uber lady who I treated to breakfast, and I damn near forgot my flight back out of Denver to Detroit because of her. We had such a good time, but that's a whole different thing. So I can't think 3 hours is not enough for me to say I can handle it. I can tell you right now that I was overwhelmed. What I did have, and I don't know what that will be like when I go to Rio. I don't know what it's going to be like when I go to Germany. I don't know what it's going to be like when I go to Thailand or Philippines. My first time, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited now. I hope I don't lose my mind. I can say, yeah, I'm going to have it all together. I might not because I'm still coming from America like the rest of us here. So that initial breaking in period, I don't know how I'm going to react. You know, I hope I don't react crazy. I can prepare myself the best I can now, but I probably will lose my mind.
You're gonna be all right,
Joseph. You know what? It's okay, Joseph. It's okay to lose it for one day. So if you want to like lose your mind for a day, each country do that. Get it out of your system, then enjoy the trip. Because trust me, you're gonna be extremely overwhelmed in Brazil. Right? Like your sensory's gonna be completely in overload mode. What you're about to see in Brazil, depending where you go, if you're going to Rio and other cities, man, look, stay in the gym. For these next 2 months, you should be working out twice a day.
Yeah.
You want to go to Brazil ripped. Ripped. Right? You want to make sure you're out there wearing your Speedos if you wear Speedos or the guys wear Speedos down there. You want to go out there, look sexy, look good, got your money in your pocket, enjoy yourself, man.
Yeah, man. It's a beach culture, man.
It's a beach culture. Take it all in. Enjoy yourself. like I said, between now and your trip, you should be working out twice a day.
And actually, a great place to meet women there is at the gym. They got that. What's that chain called down there? Starts with the I
Um,
can't remember. Shit, because they got
yeah,
it.
Brazil is a huge fitness culture, man. So once you're there, depending how long you're staying,
As long as
join a local gym. Join a
Yeah.
local gym. Go to Colombia. It's like I'm glad that you had a great experience in Colombia. I'll say go to Colombia. If you need me to walk you through the process with Colombia, where to stay, I'll personally work with you for free. And make sure you're squared away in Colombia, man. Because the thing is, based on your experience at that barbershop, you could get that same experience in Colombia with Colombians and Venezuelans.
Yep.
oh my goodness,
Yep.
man, I don't
So
even know. I'm scared.
I want you to reach out to me on my DM. And again, if you're interested in going to Colombia, I'll make sure you're squared away and I'll be your personal coach. Where, listen, I want you to have this amazing experience, the same experience you had 3 years ago. I want you to have it there in Brazil and Colombia.
And Joseph, once you kind of get more trips and more comfortable under your belt traveling overseas, man, like start to try and learn the language of wherever you'd like to go the most.
Mhm.
Like say for instance, you want to go to like Mexico City, or Guadalajara or something like that. It's good to learn the language so you're not so dependent on like Google Translator and stuff. And you can really get out there and see a lot of spots, man. Don't just get stuck in the big three, man. There's some bad women all over Latin America. And now it may not be as many per capita as Colombia, but
Mhm.
sometimes if you're the only black man in a place full of others, man, it don't even matter that it's not 300 to 1. The 50 to 1 will have you good. You know what I'm saying? So it don't even matter because up here I'm meeting chicks from like Guadalajara and Ecuador that are bad as I don't know what. It's just
Hmm.
you know, so that lets me know there's more than where that comes from. So don't just get stuck on the big three, man. Learn the language so you can be more like versatile and you can go like more places.
Now, I know I agree. I want to take up a language. I wasn't sure. I won't know what language I want to take up until I get to the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
countries that are so. So I don't know if I'm going to prefer Portuguese or Colombia for Spanish. I
yeah,
have to get there and say, well, I prefer Brazil or I prefer Colombia. So therefore, I'm going to learn the associated language or even Thai. I don't even know.
yeah,
So, but learning the language, if I plan on staying there longer term, as in more than a month stay, and like making it or even a temporary residence, I would take it upon myself to learn the language and having honestly having the money to be able to focus on learning it would free up a lot of time so I can then do that. So that was definitely a plan to do. Right now, I do have a young lady who's ready. She's already ready for me to come in Brazil, Rio. I saw her on the YouTube video. I reached out. I didn't think she was going to respond. She responded. She's like, yeah, I'd give you a tour around Rio. So I think I'm going to get introduced into it the right way. In fact,
yeah.
um, I mean, if you guys want to see what she what she looked like, she's not a bad looking tour
Go
guide.
for it. Go for it if you want to share it. But Joseph, I'm telling you, you're not gonna have any problems, man. I'm looking at your profile. You're good, bro. Just like I said, just go to the gym.
Yeah.
Just go to the gym the next 60 days. Stay in the gym, work hard, and enjoy yourself, man.
And I got kind of a cheat code for learning languages too, man. Like shortcuts and
Oh
resources.
wow.
Oh my god! Oh,
I
is
know.
that Stella? Stella? I think
Yeah,
I
that's
follow
me.
her.
You probably do.
Yeah, she's bad, man. Oh yeah, and that's Renata. They got a channel.
Wow. Okay.
She seems bad cool though, man. Hey, that's up to you, bro. She is fine. I do follow her. I follow her on IG because I found out about her from the lady she was in the picture with. She has a YouTube channel.
This one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
that's what's up, bro.
You're in good hands, man.
I think
Man, please,
I
man. You'll be
am.
all right.
Just
You'll be all right, man.
don't just check her out, man. Because like the thing about the ones that speak English, you kind of know they've already been in contact with a lot of Americans. So, and I'm not drawing any conclusions for that,
I agree.
but better, man. Just better. Take your time, have fun. You know.
And again, Joseph, when you get there, you're gonna see the type of talent that is out there.
Yeah.
Just go to the beach. Go to Copacabana Beach, Zone 5, and go to Rasta Beach. Zone 5. Again, let's stay in contact. Please reach out to me on DM on Facebook. Are you actually in the Facebook group or?
I am.
All right, reach out to me, man. We'll talk, man. I'm gonna get you squared away, man. Because I don't want you to just rely on one contact. You should have multiple contacts. You're a single man. Enjoy yourself, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, she's just a tour guide, so I'm not going with no expectations or nothing because I know she's speaking English. Like,
if anything, what she may do for you is expose you to her network of beautiful women.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because beautiful women hang out with beautiful women, and trust me, she's gonna take it to all the hot spots, which you're gonna stand out regardless. And again, think of that. Let's stay in touch. And again, you don't have to do, like you said, she could just be a network. That's it. Keep it as that. But her friends could be the ones that, you enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I mean, my formula is don't go with the ones that know too many damn American. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some women, and I'm not saying necessarily her, but I've seen others like this that some of my boys have fallen victim to. These chicks literally stand out at the airport. It's like next man up from America, that kind of shit. So it's kind of like, and they got motherfuckers sending them Western Unions and all that shit. So and she don't seem like that kind, but it's just others that they know the game, and yeah, maybe they just like Americans. But if you're gonna be, to me, if you want to be serious with a woman, I'd like to feel like I'm kind of the only one that is like that. You know what I'm saying? Not like, oh, if any nigga comes through from America, he's the one. He's got it.
Look, I say this: don't worry about relationship. Go out and have a great time. Network.
That's it.
Build your contact. And again, for Rio, I'm gonna set you up with some great places to check out that I've vetted in the past. And trust me, you're gonna stand out. If you look the way you are in your profile, you will not have any issues out there, man. Yeah. Trust me.
Yeah, that's me. That's it's 2 years old, but it's still me.
No, not a problem, man. But yeah, man. Wow, it's been 2 hours, guys. But you know what, guys? I would love to have another panel discussion. Joseph, if you want to join I want to have another podcast around relationship about the current relationship within the States versus overseas. And I kind of like what we briefly talked about, and I want to just take it to another podcast episode. Would you guys be interested in joining me on another live or talk about relationships in the States versus overseas? And especially for you, Joseph, because you're going to have your first experience coming up soon. So we just want to highlight that because that's something I never talked about. I'm currently in Dominican Republic. I'm with my girlfriend right now. So I could highlight my experience of being in a foreign relationship. But I felt like, the synergy that we had between us three was really good. Joseph, I just met you, but I loved a lot of your talking points. And also, too, we want to make sure that you're squared away for your upcoming trips, man. So would you guys be interested in doing another live later this week?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You say later this week, do you have like an approximate? It's Monday today. Tuesday.
Not really. Today's Monday, right? Or it's Tuesday now. Do you guys have a time preference or a day preference?
Well, not for the work I do. I can do it pretty much anytime I want, as long as it's not, in the mornings that's when I trade. So
yeah, I don't do that.
If it's like afternoons, evenings, then this like basically the time that you started is pretty much I can do that anytime, pretty much any day. So
okay, so I'm thinking about maybe Thursday. I'll think of a topic and I'll reach out to you guys on DM. But Joseph, please stay in contact with me. I want to make sure that you're squared away for Rio. I want to make sure that you're going to all the right places. And also, too, I can give you some tips. And if you want to interested in learning more about utilizing Tinder, how to use it more effectively. Yeah, trust me. There's some things I could pass the torch on to you, and you can run with it, man. And I think you're in a good position. You're in a good position.
I haven't thought about Tinder. I have not thought about. I mean, because it's broken here in America, so it's like I kind of read it off. But you saying it works?
It works. It works, yes, it works.
Huh.
But also, you have to be careful because some of the girls that are on Tinder are pros. So I'll
Yeah,
teach you how to tell the difference. But again, I want to make sure that your first trip overseas is amazing. So you're my special project. I mean, I hope you don't take that offense.
no, I don't.
I want to make sure that you have an amazing time in Rio, and also too, if you could squeeze in Colombia this year, I think you should definitely do Colombia, man. And I could definitely get you in the right path, regardless what's going on with guys getting drugged. I'll put you in a situation where you won't meet that type of element. And again, I think you'll do very, very well if we guide you properly and things to avoid.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Joseph,
Wow.
I had no idea this is your first trip out of the country, so I almost feel an extra a responsibility of protection over you, brother. So,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's like we're taking Joseph onto the fold. Like I'm gonna be your big brother.
yeah,
And
exactly. Because
I'm
he's
gonna, I'm gonna
like
school
my
you in.
little
I'm like, all
bro.
right.
So, little passport, bro.
Yeah.
But Joseph, just a couple of my little 2 cents on what I think how you should approach it. Couple things to add to your toolbox, man. Just meet the chicks like at the beach, like we talked about,
Mhm.
at the gym, and at their job. Those are three
Okay.
ways that you kind of stay away from the scammers and the hustlers and stuff. Because if you meet a
Right.
chick at her job, she works at the front desk at a hotel or whatever, and she's a waitress at the restaurant. Probably 9 times out of 10, she's probably a legitimate person. So if
Yeah.
you got that attraction to her, you know, hey, even if you don't know Portuguese or whatever, just use that charm, use your charisma, and just be intelligent. Use Google Translate, and just say, hey, I'm an American. I'm just hanging around, and I want to learn more about the culture, and just start a conversation just like you would here in the States, But I think meeting women where they work kind of catches them off guard, because scammers are always on offense. They're always looking for people. But if you meet women that ain't necessarily looking for anybody, you're starting off at a much further place than, being on like some dating site and they're actively hunting for people to take down, So just
Thank you. Yeah, I see y'all. I see y'all as my my big brothers, my older brothers. You guys clearly have a lot more experience than that. I mean, I can imagine that. I'll probably take y'all back to the first time y'all was going to travel outside this country, and it's like, I'm enjoying this. Because I'm not even in a hurry because it's gonna be about 2 months, maybe even a little bit sooner. Because the money that's coming in is gonna be crazy. So. It's like that's all I need. I'm not trying to get rich doing what I'm doing. I just want to I'm just trying to get to Brazil one time, and just see what it's
So
like.
have you purchased your ticket? Have you purchased your ticket yet, or?
I won't be able to until because the particular way that I trade is with Forex. So we have prop firms, and they kind of have like a 30-day waiting period. So even if I'm making money right now, which I am, it's like they won't pay me out for the first time until 30 days from now. And then after that, it'll be bi-weekly. And after that, it's supposed to be like weekly or whatever. But it's only 30 days, really. I'm not in a hurry. The kind of money I'm making with this is like, I'm okay. And then so I only say 2 months. So 1 month before I get paid, and then another month just for me to settle my affairs here at home in the States. I got unfinished business I got to take care of. People I want to see, people I want to visit because I might not see them for a long time, different states, and then I'll be gone. That's going to be about a month process. And then after that, it's kind of like just dusting my hands and time for me to spread my wings and go outside of the country and just really see what's out there, starting in Rio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the dollar's like 5-1 there right now. So if nothing else, that's something to look forward to. The dollar goes a lot farther.
I hear it's a lot cheaper, and I mean, I can't even fathom what that's like because I've never experienced. I'm used to just paying American prices for American things, but I don't. People say it's so much cheaper. I have no concept of what that even means. So I'm used to paying, like, for example, $5 for a burger here. I don't know how I'm going to respond if I be like, oh, damn, it was only $1. Like, I'm used to paying. So I'm probably going to be saving a lot more money, too, as a result of me doing this.
You are. Brazil is grossly cheaper than Detroit or California. So,
And
again,
Detroit has no business being as expensive as it is. Detroit is like Detroit has no business being, it has no, it just doesn't make no sense. You got blight everywhere, and yet they charging like New York prices. It don't make no sense. California prices. If I'm going to be paying this much to live here in Michigan, I might as well take my ass down to California or Texas or Florida. You know what I'm saying? It has no business.
Yeah, this inflation is real, man. It's crazy right now. We're like at $5 a gallon in many parts of LA. So
$6 is what I saw. I saw $7 a gallon there.
Yeah. If you go into like Hollywood, it does get more expensive. I'm rarely down there, but it's still $5 is enough for me. And think of how much money you waste on just gas, and especially if you have to commute every day. I mean, how much of that money could be put towards like more useful stuff, or stuff that's more like directly beneficial towards your health and quality of life?
Like putting it towards investments, which is like that to me is a more useful. Now, I guess we're going to a whole different topic. I don't want to. I can go. Start talking about money. I can go on all day because it's like there's like a formula I kind of figured out. But maybe we can do something like that another time. I'd be happy to break it down. Since you're helping me for free, and your guys are willing to step up to guide me and lead me, because I'm probably going to now when I call you, Kano, I guarantee you it won't be based on hey bro, can you spot me $5, bro? I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to get out of the country, bro. I promise you, it won't be nothing like that. I'm preparing myself, so I won't put no one in that predicament. Myself, first of all, and no one else that who's looking out for me, who I care about. It's not that to me, that's not what a man should do. Like, he should have his ducks lined up financially, at least, to where he's not burdening no one else financially when he's doing his business elsewhere. So that's not a call you will ever hear from me. Hey, let me borrow $5, Kanal. I'm just trying to get on this plane. I just need a spot of $5.
Well, that's why we like you, Joe. We help those who help themselves. We are all men here, so it's not. We help the worthy. You know what I'm saying? As we've been helped, we've had to prove ourselves to other older travel bros or whatever, even if it was just getting information, it's still of a benefit. So, we're trying to reframe the whole narrative of the black man, which is we do need some kind of group economics, some kind of group mindset, but it starts with everybody being able to hold their own weight, man. So it's that's what we believe in, and we wouldn't be extending ourselves out to you if we didn't see some of that in you.
Wow. Well, I mean, like I say, in return, I can show people what I do. Like, I'm not someone, I don't talk about what I do because I like to just do what I do. And it's like, okay, I got results from this, and I can teach others how to do it. And usually when I teach people how to do what I do to make money, they usually do make money. Whether it's DoorDash, one time I did that. This white dude, showed me how to do it. 30 minutes, I got him set up. He started making $30 an hour literally that day. He quit his job the same day and everything. I'm like, dude, relax. I just taught you. He said, yeah, but it's working. And I taught my friend how to make money with binary options. He made like $1,000 in 1 week. That was like 3 years ago. So I just kind of have a knack for teaching people what I personally do to make money. I don't do theory. So that's something I can bring to the table. It's like, okay, you do X, Y, Z. If you have this amount of money, then you're going to take this amount, you're going to put it here, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And I can even set it up to where, if you don't even want to trade, if you have the resources, because it's going to be more financial outlay. If you want to go like the more passive route where someone else is trading for you, I know someone I trust who can trade on their behalf, but it's going to cost you a couple $100 up front. If you want to do it yourself, you can save yourself a couple $100 and then pocket a couple of $1,000 instead if you're doing prop firms. So I can teach you how to get $100,000 account, $200,000 account, $300,000 account. I myself have $100,000 account on my way to an extra $50,000 account because you need the leverage so you can be able to trade effectively. Because 1% on $100,000 account is going to be $1,000 in profit, just like that. But of course, that's just an example. Typically, you can get anywhere from 8 to 10% a month, and you're probably not working more than maybe, I don't know, you want to call it work. I don't call it work. It don't feel like it. Let's say an hour or two a week. If you wait for the setup to come up, that's if you're doing it by yourself. If you're really lazy, you have someone else, you pay them to do it. They want a setup fee, and then they charge you a certain amount. They want a percentage of the profit that you make every month. So it's like I can go on and on. So that's just something I think I can provide to the group because I'm convinced that finances is the biggest. But there's other factors, right? Emotional, you got spiritual health and mental health. But the finance part is the part I think a lot of guys struggle with and that they need the help with most. And that's what we try to focus on most because without money, there's no way in hell you can even think about doing what I'm doing in 2 months' time, going to Brazil. I mean, it's like $1,000 a ticket. You want to make it so it's not an issue for you. You don't have to think like that. You're not trying to debate whether or not you should go or not. You're not trying to debate, am I going to be able to, squeak out, can I get back? Can I get my ticket back to America? If I, you want to make sure you have a comfortable amount of money. You don't need to be rich doing it, but if you're making $5,000, $10,000 a month, very fairly easily, if you have the right skill and the right knowledge, then you can accomplish a lot of dreams and goals that you want to accomplish. I learned that the hard way going from here to California. I said, okay, I definitely know I need money just to go traveling in the States. So I had to fix that problem. I was making money, but not enough to travel the way I really wanted to travel. So now I'm in a position where I can do it. And I'll soon be in a position where I can teach it much more extensively. And I think that'll be beneficial to your group big time. I mean, in addition to IT, cloud, if they want to do a salary route, which I don't blame anyone for doing it, that is a safer route. You can still make 6 figures doing it. I was on the track to doing it. I chose not to do it. I actually paid money to get into it, $5,000. And then I ended up going back to doing Forex. It was a huge risk. But that was the path I took because I wanted to have more time to myself. So that was the trade-off. So there is definitely a learning curve to it. So I just want to, give those options to other men within your group and anyone else who have the resources to pour into it. It's not a lot, but I would say if you have at least $1,500 to $2,000, you can really get the ball rolling. So yeah, I'll stop there.
You know what? Actually, I wanted to do a series that talks about financial freedom and financial options that we could actually explore. So I'll definitely be reaching out to you to actually host an episode so you can highlight Forex.
Okay, I'll do that, and I will break it down in the simplest way, in a way as if no one knows what it is. But it won't be fluff, right? It won't be like this is a candlestick. This is what you mean to buy and sell. I'm gonna teach you bullshit. I'm not gonna teach nobody no BS. I'm gonna actually give you the path. Like it's like a blueprint. It's a blueprint. Like everything I do that makes me money is a blueprint to it. And once you figure out that formula, all you're doing is just repeat. It's like making a cake. It's a recipe. Once you have that recipe, then you can go and take it. And I don't want no one to rely on me. They got the recipe. This is the path. X, Y, Z, ABC, 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. It won't be none of this. I call it like nebulous, just bullshit, right? They just say, yeah, Forex makes a lot of money. Okay, well, how the fuck does that help me make me money? Like, you're not telling me no information that's going to benefit me specifically in making money in this game because there's a way to do it. I've made a lot of mistakes, so other people don't have to make the mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. So I can literally shortcut people's process and be like, hey, this is where you're going to go. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do this. You're going to do this, X, Y, Z, and you're going to get this specific result. Same way I did with the guys, not just that one guy, 3 or 4 other people. How to do DoorDash, how to do binary options, and now how to write. Like I did freelance writing. There was a formula to that. I taught people how to do that. And now it's like I graduated to Forex, which is like, a much more lucrative career path. So when I teach it, it's going to be in that way. It's going to be in a way that people can grasp it, hold on to it, and then take it and do something with it. It's going to be useful information because I can't stand the bullshit that's in the industry because it's a bullshit industry and it can cause people to quit, to do all kinds of crazy things, throw thousands of dollars away in the drain. I done did it all. So I can guide people down that path and say, this is just kind of follow my lead, and then this is the destination. Now, I can't grab nobody by the hand and make them do anything. I'm not going to babysit nobody. But if people see the opportunity and they see what I'm saying is legit, because I'm going to show my own results. I think that's important, showing that you yourself are making money doing the thing that you're teaching. And then that typically inspires people like, damn, maybe I can do this too. Or, okay, it's legit, it's real. So I don't have that just yet. It's going to be, like I said, about a month, because I have to wait for things to work, to the payout to actually come to me. That's not something I can control. It's just part of the process. And then once I have that, it's that proof. I think a lot of guys, they would be happy with $5,000 a month in profit. I would be. You don't even need $100,000 in trading funds. You can do 50,000. It costs you $300 to get a $50,000 account. You pass 2 tests. If you pass it, then you get a $50,000 account. You make 10% of that a month. You make $2,500 to $5,000 a month easily. You take 22% of that for taxes. Just cut that right off the top. That whatever you're left with, that's it. There's no other expense. It's pure profit after that. So it's like I can teach that. It's a lot, man.
No, I actually I know a few guys that live in Brazil who make their living off of forex. They're living comfortably while overseas, doing forex. So I know it's possible. I just never been exposed to it, like to actually see how it works and learn more about it. So I am curious. But I personally know a few guys. I personally know a few guys in Rio right now in Brazil they've been living it for the past 7 years plus doing forex.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Just.
I was about to say, but are they passing that information down? Because it's one thing to know it, right? Oh, I know guys who do it, but like, I hope I'm not the only one that's like, look, I'll break it down. I'll show. It's like a secretive thing. It's almost like it's like a good old boys club. Those who know it.
Sometimes I think guys deliberately misexplain it so nobody else learns it. 'Cause I've had a couple people try and break it down to me, and it just didn't make any sense. But I know it was the way they were explaining it. So
it depends on the person.
You seem like a very plain-spoken, direct person, and I think, I look forward to hearing what you have to say about it. Definitely.
Not everyone knows how to teach. That's the biggest. That's one of the issues. Is that you can know how to do forex very well, but having the ability to teach and transfer that knowledge that you have in a way that the other person can understand it and grasp it and then utilize it, that in itself is a whole different skill set.
Right.
It's completely. So you can be good at IT, but then you have someone trying to teach you how to do IT, and they're using all these big fancy jargon words. Words that they don't know that they're doing it because that's how they speak. They're using a lot of technical language, and they don't know how to. It's just a certain way to do it. It's a certain way to do it, and not everyone has that ability to do it or skill set. It's just something that I've always had and was able to do. So I enjoy doing it. I probably shouldn't do it for free, but it's like if I'm making enough money trading forex, and I don't mind doing it because you guys are offering to help me. So I think that's a pretty fair exchange. If I can if I can show you how to make even if it's like just an extra $5,000 a month, like you $50,000 account, I show you how to get that. Then I'm helping you avoid all of the different, because you can spend money trying to get a $50,000 account, end up getting the wrong place. It's likely that get screwed that way. I spent $500 to get this, and they went bankrupt. They took my money. I done made 10 grand this month, and they stole it. So if you don't know someone who actually has done it and who's doing it successfully, then you're going to always be in the dark, or you're going to make a lot of mistakes that you can easily avoid if someone like myself, which is willing to step up and teach it, and also have the ability to teach it. So that's the extra step to it. It's that first they have to be good at trading, and then you have those who, let's just say, they know how to teach it. They might not even want to teach it. They just want to kind of go incognito. They want to go in the background, do their own thing. I mean, not to say they're selfish, but they are selfish, right? Or they just don't care to. They figure, I got mine. I'm successful. I don't care about all these other ninjas. I'm just going to let them, they figure it out. They get, okay, I do what I do, But if I talk about what I'm doing, because I'm passionate about it, then I'm also offering to tell you or teach you or show you how I do it. Because I want to see more of us, especially us, those who look like us, go outside the country and achieve our dreams, because this knowledge here is just it's very valuable in the right hands, and it's just a lot of us don't have it to utilize it. We don't even know it exists. So if I can just expose people to it and say, look, this is it. This is what you can do, and this is what's possible, and this is how you do it, then your mind suddenly gets opened up to it. So I had to go through a lot of trial and error in the last 2 years and hell to get to this point. And I just don't want other men to go through that same hell. The same reason why you don't want me to go through hell when I'm going and traveling to other countries. It's like, okay, I can help you avoid these pitfalls and avoid this area. So I think that's a very fair exchange in terms of it's not just me like picking your brains, you and Marty, and saying I just take. It's also me understanding as a man to give, and especially when it comes to financial matters, because that's what we care about. Like, show me the money. Like, I'm like Tom Cruise. Show me the money.
I think,
that's what I care about.
We as black men do the absolute worst job out of any group of men in the world in sharing information that could actually benefit other people. And when we do have even the most basic information, we try and overcharge people for it. Like, why is it a $200 an hour consultation fee to go to Thailand? Like, I could just hire a fucking travel agent, you know what I'm saying, to get licensed information from a licensed professional, or, you know, get some actual hookups in local businesses that if I spend the $200, I know I'll be saving $400, you know. And it's just like we try and gouge each other when we have a little bit of information. So I really want to see us exchanging information that helps each other, because I think that helps us become stronger as a community, dude. Like, when we're not trying to get over on each other, and we're trying to be like mutually beneficial. So that's why I'm like, when I hear information like what you're talking about, I'm like, okay, this is something that I can tap into, and I'll help him out, you know, with what I got. So, you know, this is a good beginning, you know.
Yeah, I hope so. It's just a basic barter, right? It's like, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to, you know, someone's taking something, someone's, you know, it's supposed to be an even exchange. And that to me is the best, it's the highest form of respect. If I didn't have anything to offer in return, I wouldn't even accept it, because it's like, it's not in my character to do it. I have to have something, if not money, to offer as a result of, you know, getting this information that you guys have given me, even on this call. So it's like, that to me is valuable. So that's why I felt inspired to be like, you know what? Hey, not just you two, but anyone else who jumps on this and they want the information, it's there. You know, I'll provide it and I'll break it down. And I promise it certainly won't be long-winded. I have notes. I mean, I'm very thorough. And it's like, you'll see everything we just proved you can do, share screen, so I can show you step by step what websites to go to, exactly how to trade. Because if you go on YouTube, how to trade Forex, you're going to get a lot of bullshit there. You're going to probably wade through a whole lot of stuff. You're going to waste thousands of dollars like I did. And then you're going to be like, oh, this is all I had to do? When it all said and done, if you even get to that point, right? But you don't know how simple it can be until someone shows you how simple it is. And that's what I can do. I can be like, man, in a way, I'm almost jealous when I teach people. I'm just like, man, if only you knew what I went through to get this, you know. But it brings me pleasure. Like, it's almost like the way Kanal said, you know, how do you say, like a project in a way. It's like, yeah, you're my, you know, I want to see what I can produce out of pouring into this person, and how they fare from it, you know, how they end up from it, how their life change in a better way for it. It's part of it is you want to see other people succeed in whatever area you're teaching and pouring into. The other part is because you like personally, it's like almost like an ego thing. It's like, I help this person do this, I help this person do that, and you feel good about it. So, you know, the same reason why people give to charity. They don't just give from their heart. I mean, they do, but let's be real. It's also given because it makes you feel good for doing it. So that's why I'm choosing to do this. It's a pleasure. Anyone who's willing to listen, who wants that, I got it. Just give me about a month and a half. I won't say no more than 2 months, because I'll be busy, but I'll definitely carve out a time. It won't take longer than an hour, and I'll break it down step by step. Everything from funding to how to trade, and then off to the races. You take from that what you want. And like I said, if you want the shortcut, I can teach you the shortcut, which is someone else trading for you. And if you got real money, I'm talking $50,000 and up, which you probably won't, most people won't have until they start making money from doing it the way I would teach them. Then you can graduate to having a robot, like an automated robot trading for you. That's what I'm going to personally do. So I'm going to put my money, my own $50,000 to $100,000 on the line as I'm making it. It's going to take me about 6 months to do it, save up, and then I'm going to test it. So I'm going to be the guinea pig. But I have a source that's very close to this person. I know this person pretty well. I trust him. He has about $1 million of his own money in an account. A lot of receipts. So it's a lot of vetting that I did, but I'm still going to put my money on the line. But that's a whole different conversation. I'm not going to even show anybody how to do that first. Just focus on getting your $50,000 account, pay a little money, trade, 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 times a week. If you want to do it by yourself, and if you're lazy, pay somebody else a couple $100 to do it for you. And then, next thing you know, you're making $5,000, $10,000 extra a month profit, not outside of expenses, not revenue, none of that bullshit. Oh yeah, I make $10,000. Okay, yeah, but I keep like $1,000 in profit. Yeah, man. Nah, that ain't the move.
I think I can retire overseas off that.
What you say?
I think I can retire overseas off that.
Most people can.
Yeah. I mean, my situation is pretty interesting. I mean, I work a full-time job. I do consulting on the side, but I got to admit, I don't know about the whole passive income game. I'm looking for different options. So yeah, I'm willing to hear and listen to anything.
I can't wait to show you. Just give me a little. I'm gonna put it together. I'm gonna put that together, and for you, because you're working a full-time job, it would. I would still say you would still want to learn a little bit of how to actually trade for yourself, but you don't need to. You don't need to. In your case, you can literally. But it's like I said, the cost. I guess the cost of that is you're gonna have to, let's say 500. I would say probably set aside at least $1,500, no more than $2,000 to make it worth your while. Because I'm probably gonna have you do like $100,000 account, and then have you go with one of my guys. He's trustworthy. He passes your account, or he passes your challenges, right? In order to get your account. Once he gets your account, he trades your account, and then that's how you make, I say, about minimum $8,000 to $10,000 a month from the work he does. The risk is that anything can happen to him because he's trading your account. He might decide, I don't want to trade this month, next month, whatever. So far, he's consistent, but that's the risk of you relying on someone else to trade your account. But still, if you think about it, even if you only did it for 1 month, you still come out with a $10,000 month just from him doing the work for you, doing all the trading for you. So you still come out benefiting from it, even if it's just 1 month. So I'll set you up. I'll set you up a plan for that if that's the option you want to go for. Because I think that might be a better option for you, because full-time work, to trade, you're going to have, I wouldn't even, you're waking up in the morning, 9 o'clock, New York open time, and sometimes London open, which is 3 o'clock. That's sometimes a pain in the ass. And this is Forex. I haven't even talked about stock options, but I'm not going to talk about that until 3 months into that, because that's a whole different field. But yeah, for you, that's probably the path you would probably be more interested in taking, assuming that you have, or you're prepared to put down at least $1,500 minimum, 15,500. Was it 5 or 1,500? Yeah, it's 1,500. Yeah, because he wants 500 just to get you through the door, and then $500 to start trading your account. Plus, you need $500 to actually get the account. So that's just to give you a ballpark idea. So I say in about a month and a half, 2 at the latest. If you have it, you won't even have to waste any time. I'll just be like, boom, 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 right? But a lot of, if you got it, you don't have to tell me nothing, but just know mentally $1,500. If you get that, and you set that aside, then I can literally pretty much fast track you to getting that. So you don't even have to trade at all, right? But for most people, it'd be like they don't have that kind of money, or they want to trade for themselves, which is what I still recommend as for a long-term game. It's not hard. It's pretty simple. All right, but it just depends on you.
You see my my contact information in the back chat.
I just got it.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's talk more about it. I actually got to run here, man. But Yeah, it's been very good talking to you guys. Canole, thanks for bringing up this topic, man.
Yeah, likewise,
Like
likewise.
you laid out some really good discussion points. So yeah, let's do more of this.
All right, well, hey guys, I definitely got to end it. Joseph, I'll be reaching out to you tomorrow. Reach out to me on DM so we can talk, and
All
I
right, great.
definitely want to get you guys part of the Thursday podcast, so we can definitely get this conversation going again.
All right,
All
sounds
right,
good.
guys.
Just just I appreciate you guys again. Very enlightening. I appreciate you letting me rock for a little bit. I don't know how many people listening, but hey, it's the information is there. I like to share this knowledge and information.
You know what? I don't have a lot of listeners, but the ones that I do listen taking the information. So that's what I'm about. And I'm all about quality. And we talked about a lot of great things, and you gave a lot of great information towards the tail end of the podcast. So we definitely have this conversation again. Whoever takes it, whoever listens, takes it, run with it. That's on them. So that's what matters to me.
Sure.
And again, when you as you become a world traveler, you learn how to move by yourself. You learn how to move in small circles. Hence, less issues. So, with that being said, guys, this is the first of many to come with 2023 podcast. This is my first podcast to start off the year. It was a great conversation, and we're definitely going to have another one this Thursday. I'll be reaching out to these fellas and definitely have another thought-provoking discussion around traveling, relationships, and so forth. It's 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning. Well, it's 2 in the morning here in Dominican Republic.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, if anything, guys, you guys have a great night, and you guys take care.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks.
Later, man.